Some lady was like, why would you call us dogs? Why? Why would you call us dogs? Why? Because of this. Because domestication. They bred us for temperament, for loyalty, for protection. That's what they bred y'all for. You feel me? Oh yeah, brother, you were there. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Vibes. How are you, man?
I'm good, man. I'm chilling.
That's
I'm
good,
just getting up
bro.
this morning. I'm not even out of bed yet. I want some smoke already.
Hey, well, what time did you sleep, bro? I saw you at Uncle Boss's live like too late. Yeah,
On Uncle's live?
yeah.
Or who
Uncle
was
Moose,
it? Was it Uncle that I saw you on?
Uncle Moose. Yeah, it was
Yeah,
actually
Uncle
Uncle Moose.
Boost. Oh, you said Boost. Yeah.
Yeah,
You were on there. You were on there too.
yeah. I was on. I was on.
Uncle Boost doesn't know you, or you just met him, or what? I swear you've been up there
No,
before.
I've been on his live couple times, but
Uh huh.
it's just that he's used, on a different account now. It is a different one, but he recognized me after that. So, so
Yeah,
and
I had to
yeah.
remind him. I was like, I thought you were there before. Uncle must be the craziest devil's advocate. He's so crazy. He be turning us. He be turning he does it for views, bro. He does it to be like like you never know what side Uncle Moose is gonna be on tomorrow. The
Right,
next
right,
day.
right, right, right. Yeah, he's very entertaining though. Like you find I think 2 days, that's like 3 days ago, I was on his live. I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna hop on here for like 10 minutes, and I ended up being there for like 3 hours. I was like, what the?
No doubt. I know the feeling. At
Yeah,
heart, he knows the conversations we want to have. But
yeah, he does.
there's a lot of sensationalism, and he does have Black Americans on there that
Yep.
that complain, or FBA's that.
Uh-huh.
I mean, he
The dumb
he
ones. The
he
dumb
draws the
ones.
line at he done with he does, and then he'll even use them to go after, like, say, Nigerians or or a certain group that he doesn't that talk shit too. He kind of
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
smart
yeah.
because he uses them against each other.
Yeah, he's smart. He's smart, man. He's like his shows are very funny. Like yeah, and also he knows his shit too. Like you know what I mean. Like he
Hmm.
has a time when you feel like, damn, I'm learning something from this, right? And he
Hmm.
knows. Yeah. So now and then again, if you come in, with stupid questions, then he's going to come out with stupid answers. which makes it even more fun.
That's so true. That's so true. And he switches his shit up too. He'll be asking different questions,
Uh-huh.
depending on what's going on.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah, I get.
and
Yeah.
for, like yesterday, I know he knows me now. He just wanted to, try to see what I was about to say and all that stuff. And he was like, so he was acting like he don't like I'm new, you know what I mean, so that he can get like a
Uh-huh.
best out of me. I'm like, nah, bro,
Exactly, bro. I,
you're
I
not
let
dumb.
I let Uncle Moose. He sometimes he jumps into my lives, but I swear he like everything about him, his respectability, politics, and him wanting love and peace and all that goes out the window when he's in another live. He wants all that for his lives, but
Right, right,
he
right, right.
comes in here acting like. Well, I give him the mod power and stuff too,
Uh-huh. Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
he be doing way too much sometimes.
Actually, my first time running into his live, man, I was like, "Damn, who's this guy?" I was like, that was my first time, and he was actually, going off of one of the FPS that jumped in, and I was like, "What?" And this guy was asking, "But you guys sold us?" He was like, "Oh, you wanna be sold again?"
You got and that's the thing. It's like it's such a comedy show, for
Yeah,
me and we understand it. They come
yeah,
on and they're just like, he's the most racist, he's the most anti-black, and all this. And
uh-huh,
it's like, if you're coming on to be roasted, or you want to do the roasting and talk all that shit, like, there
yeah.
you go. You got to do
Uh-huh.
that. Could do it right back, and could give you can roast your ass while he teaches us a history lesson.
Yep, yep. Very true. Yeah, very true. Very
He's
true.
like
Yeah.
multi tasker.
Oh man, yeah. Uncle Boss is a funny guy, man. His lives are very funny.
But
Um,
yeah, yeah, I've definitely seen him evolve. Like,
yeah.
I've been watching him for a while too now, and
Uh-huh.
at
There,
first,
there's this
yeah, go
there's
ahead.
this other guy. I don't see him. A great man. My mentor. I kind of. He's
What's his
that's
name?
funny.
What's his name?
Great man.
Grape
Midas. I think.
Grape
Great.
Man. Oh,
Great.
great. Okay. I was
Yeah,
like, that's
great.
a wild name.
Yeah, great man.
I
And
got you.
yeah, I don't see him anymore. So I was like, man, where did he go? Like he was going off on the FPS like nothing, bro. Like I'm like, what the?
Yeah,
Serious.
I've never run into him. Did you see him
I think
again, or is he off? He's been off.
he's been off because the West Body. Her name is West Body. She's always on on. She used to be on his live all the time. And he's from Nigeria as well. And I was like, man, once I also ran into him, he was like going off on them, man. He would educate them and drop them and insult them. I was like, damn, bro.
Yeah. I mean, we have to counter this shit because it's ridiculous going on TikTok. I must be on the wrong algorithm or something, because and then some of them I do actually follow, like some of these FBAs that talk the most shit, because I'm just like, I'm studying them, I'm
Uh-huh.
observing this kind of behavior, and you got to study your enemy. You feel me?
Very true.
and then,
Yep.
and then you got to sometimes make some of these, and I don't even like, right now we're dealing with Black Americans that are
Mhm.
closeted FBAs for real,
Right.
and the reason why they're not saying FBA right now, a lot of them, because they see all the craziness happening, so that it just shows you that it is working, like the counter, the lives that we put on, because these people come in to try to, I mean, everyone comes in to learn something, right? But
Hmm.
some people come in to just learn how to talk shit,
Right.
so they're just taking notes, and these FBAs be coming into African spaces, watching us diss each other as
Hmm.
Africans, and
Yep.
taking notes,
Hmm.
so they could go back and use this against us. And
Yep.
so I've had this happen with a couple FBAs that follow me, and they be hopping onto my lives when I'm with the East Africans, right, or with
Right.
African people, and they hear the little battle, little roast sessions that we be having, say the Eritreans versus the Ethiopians, or the Eritreans versus whoever, right?
Right.
Or the Eritreans versus the world.
and 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 then they actually learn, they take notes and go, open up their lives
They
and
start using our
using,
slang, our verbiage, what we
yeah,
call each other,
the
right?
cosplayers
hmm
cosplaying.
Yeah, because they know we can we. So this one in particular, his name's I am Zayed or something. He has like an Arabic name, but he's a FBA. He's
Oh
definitely
yeah,
cause.
that kid. Yeah, I know that kid is a weird kid. He's always jumping on every lives.
Yeah, we fucking roasted his ass one time. He came on an East African live, and oh, this brother, oh man, you gotta meet this brother, Hag. He's Eritrean too, but he be roasting these dudes, and he be funny as fuck. He be impersonating FBAs just to get FBAs on his panel, and he has an American accent,
Right,
so
right,
it's
right, right.
like it's perfect because like we kind of like
You can
under
get a
the
lot of
radar.
them.
We can get under the radar just for a bit, before we start going off on them about something. But but also this brother Nagus, I don't know if you know him, Nagus and Haji. One Somali and the other guy's Eritrean. But they're born and raised here in America and well
Okay.
educated, like really really good at like focus on their own country's problems.
Right,
Even
right.
as Americans, like they still have heart to speak about politics back in their home. And anyways, these FBAs come up on the panel, man. Oh my god, I screen recorded it. I'll post it. Oh, you know what? It's on
Uh-huh.
this account. This is my second account, but
Oh, okay.
it's on this account. Go down to. It's not too far. It's like a panel, right? You'll see the post with it's two posts and it's a panel, okay? And
Okay.
these FBAs get on there and it's so funny, man. You gotta go look at it when we're done, okay?
I'll definitely check it out.
Yeah,
Yeah, for
yeah.
sure, man. Yeah.
But it's just the cultural differences and stuff like that. But they use that. These FBAs try to use that as some type of I don't know, man. Okay, so let me go back to what I was saying. Black Americans we can't tell now. We can't tell what side you're on, and
Uh-huh.
you almost have to call yourself African American for us to believe that
Really?
you have an affinity to Africa.
Yep.
Hold on, I got a knock on the door. Okay, okay. Somebody else got it. I got a new guest here. What was I gonna say? Did he leave? Yeah, he left. I was too busy talking. Fuck, I forgot what I was gonna say. Greatness, great man. Oh, so you changed your name to Great. You wanna see if you can manifest him again,
Right, 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 right. Yeah. Because a lot of time, they try to paint people like, people are not good people. So now, I'm a great man. That for sure. That I know for sure. Okay.
Yeah, no amount of hate cannot make me a man that I am.
Yep. Yep.
So
I'm a good
yeah, I
guy.
don't blame you. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, yeah. Okay, so since they want to delineate from the term African American, when you hear a Black American say that, like I don't want to be associated, or I don't want to be called that. There has to be some kind of FBA influence.
Right.
Um, and so it's called nationalism, if I'm correct.
Yeah, because
It's
a lot of them, they are trying to use that, right, as a hiding, as a cover up. So they say, you know what, don't call me African, but call me black. So that automatically already, that's an FBA you're dealing with. Like,
right.
yeah, don't buy anything after that. Don't, because a lot of them, see, the FBAs, they get to the point where like just you can look at them in the face, like just like in real life, this is a FBA. You know what I mean? Like you can tell the way he looks at you, or the way He's actually you can tell like this, yeah.
That's a reach. That's how they look at us. That's how they look at Africans, man.
Yep.
We can't think they all think like that. But we have to be very careful, because I only say you're reaching because I've never met an FBA in real life, man.
Uh-huh,
Just on
uh-huh.
TikTok.
See, I like to work. I work out a lot. So a lot of time, when I can see in the gym. I'm like this.
Uh
This is a fucking FBA. You can tell how.
huh. You can
Dude,
tell by the way he walked. Come on,
yep,
great man.
yeah, kind of like you can tell like this dude is a douchebag. This
Or
must be an
they're
FBA.
giving you mean stares or something, great man.
Yep.
Is that what you're saying?
Uh-huh. Exactly. Yep.
Okay.
Hmm.
Well, you do, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, okay. So maybe he's not even. Maybe he's just talking. Okay, maybe he's not even an FBA in real life, but he has this, like, who is this? Like, who are these foreign people? Look,
Right.
and
Right.
and especially right now during this time in this administration, yeah, like of course I can't even say the word.
Uh-huh.
Intensifies. Almost an intestine, and it increases like how surveillance is,
Yep.
and people like putting how do they say it, sticking their nose or looking down on you. So I definitely understand that.
Right. Right. Yeah. And when I come across, I don't like I can tell like I don't even have to waste my energy on like talking to this guy. You know what I mean? I just vibe with any black a black person who's got you know same like minds as me. Then we vibe. You know what I mean? But if you like FBA or you know what I mean, I'm like, man, get the fuck out of here, man. You're a fucking premium African guy.
Premium
No.
or premium black. They're supposedly the premium black, but they're the unleaded. Okay, don't let them fool
Yeah.
you. But yeah, yeah, brother. I feel the same way. Like um. But what I wanted to say to that is that they're it's we've seen this before. It's nothing new. It's nationalism and blackface. It's like white nationalists and blackface, like where they put America first, like the hoorah and the army and this whole military, like the military, like imperialism kind of modality, where they think because of it could be the president, it could be the administration, like we we're foreign, so anything for America has been in the most wars. They've made everybody their enemy. They have a military base everywhere,
Right. Yeah.
so for
Right.
them to try to honor that and try to like flex on us about their domination over the world, that's some like brainwashed shit. That's like that domesticated dog example I give.
Exactly. I mean, if they do have military everywhere in the world, why can't those people from those world come to actually where those military are coming from? It, it makes sense to just like, man, where you guys are here? You know what? Where you guys come from? I'm gonna go check out, where you guys are coming from. Then boom, that's why people come to America.
Exactly. The military destabilized those countries.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
now we get a free pass to America because they're the big boss, right?
Uh-huh.
They're the
Yep.
big bullies.
Actually, there's this FBI guy in Minnesota. It's a video that I saw, and he's questioning these white ladies, asking their opinion on what they think about Somalians in Minnesota. And those ladies were like very smart ladies, and they responded the guy like really well. They said, "Hey, look, America is a free country. Like everybody has the right to live in America as long as they are here, uh, legally. So, you know, I mean, they like we don't know what your question is. You know what I mean? Because and those ladies were like Europeans. They're like, we're not from here, but we here. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Mm-hmm.
And the dude didn't like the answer. He was an FBA guy. I'm like, see, you out here embarrassing yourself, man. Just get a job.
Yeah, you're over here doing all this work for the white T man, and the white T man tells you, like, what are you doing?
Exactly.
And then you know what they say? They're like, well, that's why we hate all you immigrants, even the white ones. Well, because we always remind them, what about all the smoke for the European wave of immigrants that your supposed your 14th Amendment, you created that, right? You allowed us to be in your country, right? Well, the first waves were all European, and the white woman got her civil rights, through all the work you put in. Again, America had to do that because of all the pressure of the world that looked down on the United States for keeping them enslaved, and
Right.
and so their president and their legislative people got together and they're like, let's, we're going to do this for the moral good of America, and white America really got the credit for that, because they're the ones granting you the privilege.
Right.
Not a right. Yeah, not a right. You went for civil rights, but while you were still 3/5 of a man to them. You got what your human rights weren't there, and you fought for civil rights that, and how did that start off? It didn't start off so great. It started with Jim Crow, the black codes, and every discriminatory thing that was done to Black Americans here, so that didn't turn out so great. All right. And it's still to this day didn't turn, it's still not what it should be, But yeah, brother, they want to use that as some type of authority, like they hold the keys, but they're not the gatekeepers of America. They don't get to allow. They're not immigration, They don't.
Actually about holding the keys, it kind of reminds me of P. Diddy, when they gave him the key to New York City, then they turned around and locked him up
with the same key.
With the same key.
No, they locked him up and threw away the key.
Exactly. Yep.
But somebody found it because I guess he's getting out soon.
Oh, he's getting out. They found it.
Like I think in like a couple years or something.
Right.
Just to show you how corrupt this place is, even when if P. Diddy can get away from all that, just imagine the white team man, what he can get away with. And right now with this president, man, this guy gets to do anything he wants while being a pedophile and running amok, and strong arming people because they know he can do what the fuck he wants to do right now.
So the 1,700 that he was giving out, that was total corruption, man. That was a broad daylight corruption I've never seen in my life. I was like, and because he did that so that he can, authorize what he did in Nigeria. You know what I mean?
Wait, run this back for me, great man. I don't know about that. I heard about Nigeria on Christmas. Him dumping.
Right. Yeah. So Nigeria got airstrike. He's calling it the Muslim, the Islam side of Nigeria.
Yeah, I heard that part.
Yeah, so now, he actually ended up, bombing them during Christmas. And, before doing that, he first gave out, 1,750 to all the, service members. And then, because apparently he wanted to because, here's the thing, he knows the playbook, right? So before they released this file, people was going to get mad. He knew that. Now he also had his agenda that he wanted to carry out that airstrike in Nigeria. So he knew that military people at that point, a lot of them wasn't happy with him. So for him to be able to once the file is released, so he's gonna give him 1,000, they'll be happy, and everybody will be busy shopping. They'll forget about that. Then he's gonna tell them to go and airstrike the in Nigeria, which is very, very wrong because you're actually violating the Nigerian airspace.
Right.
Because they didn't authorize that, and
you're going to war. You're literally going to war. Like anybody that doesn't, what is it called? Denounce that attack. Like
Mhm.
that is like if the African Union don't come together to support that, like there
Right.
has to be some like big strings attached, or like he had to given the green light, or he just doesn't give a fuck. So wait, great man, are you telling me that he paid $1,000 to the what, the Air Force or to the
Like
military
every service member received he called it a dividend check. That was
from the
like
tariffs, the thing he was
yeah,
gonna do? But he did
yeah,
it
that's
to
what.
the military first.
Yeah, yeah, uh-huh. And then for it's like for me, I feel like he's he planned that first because this he wanted to use them. So every time you want to use somebody, of course, as a
They get
corrupt
a
leader,
STEMI check.
yeah, 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 you know what I mean? Which is the same thing, this lady, Nick Minaj, also she's being used. So she also got paid as well so
All
that she can be
right.
used. And after that she'll be dumped. And then, this guy's gonna dump a lot of people. Once he has like 1 year left in the office, he's gonna dump like all these,
Mm-hmm.
he's gonna
Mm-hmm.
dump them, like, because he's probably going to seek asylum somewhere in Qatar, Middle East, after his term, because politics are dirty games, man.
Hey, great man. I just got a violation, man. I don't know what we said. I mean,
What
we didn't say anything crazy,
uh,
but from here on out, let's just like if we say the something, it might have been the airstrike, what you call it, with what he dropped on them,
okay.
or let's just use TikTok friendly language at this
All
point
right, all
because
right.
I don't my other account's already banned. Great man. But yeah, it's all good, bro. I'm not blaming you because I said some stuff too. But
Yeah, yeah. See, when we talk about soul food and Popeyes and chicken fillet and everything is all good, right? They're not.
yeah, or when these Black Americans come on and talk about all the talk down and dehumanize Africans, that's all good. They don't get nowhere. We talk about your little bitch ass president, and they start getting all sensitive and shit here. I might have reporters too. Like
Oh
I
yeah,
might
yeah.
have people looking at just reporting on this. They hate this picture. They they think I'm being racist because I depict a black man
All right.
as a domesticated dog. But they don't understand the psychology behind it. They should, because if you know anything about Black American history, you understand the conditioning that had happened. And this happens everywhere in the world too. It's just not just America.
We have
So
one.
so they shouldn't flatter themselves if we even speak about this, because we only happen to speak about this because we don't like Tariq Nasheed or what he represents, and the whole FBA brand. Okay, he's not your leader, but he is your owner. He owns your ass. You misrepresent FBA in any type of way, he could come around and slap a lawsuit on your ass and tell you you're not FBA no more.
Oh yeah. Oh
So
yeah. That's
I don't want to hear it being referred to as a lineage and all this stuff, because he's just profiting off this ignorance.
yeah. FBAs are dogs, man. That's what they are.
Oh, it was you that said that last night, right? And that
Yeah,
lady
yeah.
got all mad. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. I know. When you say it, it sounds very, very mean to them because you say it with an accent, right?
Right, right,
First of all,
right.
so that's a trigger. And then they just think that you're talking to them like the white tea man is talking to them, right? So
Uh,
they like we're referring to them as animals,
right, right, right. And they
And
don't.
yeah.
I mean,
I'm just saying, brother. They constantly refer to Africans as savages and dehumanizing Africans. So it's like, it's kind
yeah,
of the same shit.
they think that Africa is just a forest, where there's like lions and elephants, and they ask you, so are you neighbors with the lion? Like, what the fuck?
We're bombing on Africa right now, you
Hey,
pussy.
watch that word. Watch that word. I just got a goddamn what's it called? I just got a warning, bro, because
We just sent a missile to Africa. I
all
mean,
right,
what is this guy
all
talking
right,
about?
Yeah,
all right. But no one's proud of that shit, bro. What are you
Yes, we
talking
are.
about,
We're
Black
kicking
Power?
their asses. They're
Well,
weak.
only racist,
We're kicking Africa's
only
ass.
black MAGAs are proud of that. Come on now. You're not a
No,
black
but
MAGA, are you?
hold on. We're proud of kicking
You're not a black
Africa's
MAGA, are
ass.
you? Are you a black MAGA? Are you
I'm
a
just saying,
FBA?
bro. Like, whose side are you on?
I gotta. Obviously, you gotta know on what side I am. I'm talking my shit. So hold on, just introduce yourself. You gotta introduce yourself, bro. This is how I do things. So I know exactly who I'm dealing with, right? So give me your race and ethnicity and where you're from, bro. And then I'll let you
Okay.
chime in. Let's keep it respectful, right? We can keep it respectful. I got smoke for specific FBAs, okay? Not all, but you can get some too if you want to be disrespectful, all right? But let's try to have a constructive conversation.
I mean,
Go ahead.
I'm black, of
Mm-hmm.
course. I'm from America, and I got these heavy nuts. You know what I mean? We got the
Black
biggest
American
cocks. We got the
whereabouts in
biggest
America?
cocks. You know,
Whereabouts?
we put them in white tea women, and in Seattle.
Oh, so you bunny hopping in Seattle? All right,
Oh
gotcha.
heck yeah,
All
man!
right, all right,
That's where the money is.
all right. So all right. So you pimping and hoeing these bitches? What
Yeah, they won't
are
let
you
us in
doing?
Canada no more.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's wild. All right, Black Power. All right, go
It's not
ahead.
about
Go ahead.
pimping and hoeing, though.
Finish your thought,
I'm
but
just
think
playing.
about this, bro. No, all right, cool. But so you're not a Black American. You're just playing.
I'm just playing. I'm not about pimping them. I'm not no pimp. I like French
Okay.
kissing white tea girls. I like French kissing them.
Oh my. You crazy, bro. We don't, we have enough self-love to not bunny hop, but if that's what you do, that's your problem, right? But go ahead and finish your thought about what you were saying. Just use TikTok friendly language. I just got a warning. I don't want this account banned.
Okay, so the thing is, when it comes down to Africa, they're getting their asses kicked by us. And you see all these Africans on here just happy, like they don't know, like we're kicking their ass, and like their next country is next. Like Somalia, they're going. The Ethiopians, they're going. South Africans getting rid of all of them. I mean, they're just desecrating themselves because North Africa's already been taken over by all them Arab Muslims, and they're from India, and they don't even like the Africans there. And when it comes down to like just this picture right here, I mean a lot of this is just mad because our cocks are bigger than white people's, and they just don't like the fact that what I mean, we got them heavy Jim Johnsons for them white tea girls.
Bro, okay, so we're not white tea up here, okay? You don't have bigger balls, or you ain't got that Mandika thing going on, you feel me? So
it's real, bro.
And if you're more okay, so if you have it, if you're in doubt, it's because of the African. I hope you know that, right? So I don't want to hear all this crazy talk about Africa. I mean, what you're doing is hooting and hollering and hoorah for your current administration, which is unfortunately doing all those things. He is doing all those things, my brother, because he wants to stay in office. How else are you supposed to do a third term without to even think he's going to have a third term is wild, but they really think they're going to pull this off. But the only way they can pull this off is by starting a war. And he's got the files out. He's trying to redact everything, and here you are supporting a man.
You erases your history and you stripped out of everything, man. You over here supporting that. Man.
Right. It's just not in your. It's not in Black Americans' best interest, bro. And I hope you get to see that. But go ahead, you hate Africa. Not all Black Americans.
Yes, we do hate Africa.
No, that's not true. I know plenty of Black Americans, plenty of African Americans that are proud. They're African roots. You guys are not all FBAs. You guys are not all FBA. I know you're trying to convert everybody.
They're getting their asses whipped, bro.
It's okay. Look, the whole world get their. We're just talking about how America has military bases all over the world. They're in power. They're the bullies.
They blew up their little neighborhood that they built not too long ago, and he forget about that. And they always come up here and cry about it. Like, oh yeah, we built, and then the white people came and blew it up. Well, of course they did. Why did you expect?
Philly. You remember Philly? That was the first. What's it called? I don't want to say the word, right? That was the first boom that they dropped in America. That's called domestic terrorism, bro. You talk about all of this terrorism everywhere. It's here, domesticated, domestic terrorism. You guys don't talk about all the white people that are shooting down and literally hunting BLK Americans, strange fruiting BLK Americans every week. Black people in America come up missing, bro.
No,
Yeah,
they
Like
don't.
they
if you're
can't
not,
even go. They can't even go to Stone Mountain in Atlanta. They're afraid to go to Stone
bro,
Mountain.
you go up in the boonies and the
They
sticks,
know they're
bro.
not.
It's a wrap. So Black Americans are afraid to even wander outside their neighborhoods, bro. So stop it.
We're gonna
Stop
keep
it,
on
man.
deporting and whipping ass. That's what we're gonna keep on doing. Deporting, whipping their asses in Africa.
And again, you're too concentrated on Africa when you gotta be concentrated here in America, brother. There's
No,
a
we're just gonna
lot
whip
more.
ass.
There's
We're
a
gonna
lot.
whip some
Look,
ass.
the only way you're fighting against is white tea supremacy is fucking they white women. That's crazy.
Yep,
You
that's
gonna
how we
fuck
do it.
around. You gonna fuck around and have some biracial children and just fuck
Heck
up your
yeah.
whole lineage, nigga.
Exactly.
Nah, you hella
Thi-
crazy.
This is what when we say that these people have no culture. He's like proud of having all these biracial kids and mixing with any blood out there, and he's over here acting like it's something he should be proud of, man. Come on, you're such an embarrassment, bro. Like if you have kid, I would be sorry for your kids, man, because you can't teach them nothing, bro.
So
Like
you
you
still
can
mutilating
literally,
your
if they
women
ask
back
you,
in
Dad,
Africa?
who are we?
Are you
What
still
are you gonna tell them?
circumcising your women in Africa?
What I'm telling you, if they ask you, Dad, who are we? What do you tell them? You're gonna tell them FBA?
Are you still circumcising your women in Africa, your little girls?
Come on, you don't have no moral authority to talk about anything about our
Yeah, that's why
African
we
queens,
that's why we
man.
kick your
You
ass
need to
because you
stay
guys
in
are
your
weak.
land, bro.
So what are you gonna do
You
Don't
about
come
the
up with
U.S.?
that bull crap over here,
Yo,
man.
Black, bro, you probably can't even fight, bro. You talking all this
I
shit.
got these
Yeah,
heavy hitters.
Like
I'll whip
you
your
got
ass.
it, bro.
I'll
Stop
whip your ass.
he's too big to be fighting, man. He's like 300 pounds
bro, I would
sitting
drag
in a
No,
wheelchair.
you wouldn't. You don't know how to fight.
you out before you even had.
You're a sucker. I could tell you can't fight. When last time
Come
you
on
got
now.
into a fight? When's the last time?
Bro,
I'm a
yo,
jiu-jitsu. I do jiu-jitsu,
When's
bro.
the
You'd be
last
put
time
to
you got into
sleep.
a fight? When's the last
You'd
time?
be. I train, dog. I train every
When's the
week. What are you
last
talking
time you got
about?
into
What
a
you
fight? A
talking
real
about?
fight.
bro, you'll be knocked out. You'll be knocked out in
When's
like
the
3
last time you
seconds,
got into a
man.
fight? Let me ask you a question. When's the last time?
I'll stop
When's the
your
last
heart in
time I
like
got
3
into
seconds,
a real
bro.
fight? Look, bro,
Yes.
we don't walk around trying to fight people. All
Because
right,
you're a
you
bitch.
ignorant
Because
for
you're a
that
bitch.
bullshit. No,
Bro,
That's
we
because that's all
me.
trained.
you're.
We trained.
That's
We
that's
understand the concept
You know,
of being. You are
exactly.
all you
We
do
disciplined,
is
bro.
understand
You don't go
combat, bro.
around and
Fitness.
try to start up a fight that you're gonna
All
get.
you
You're
do is
gonna
go to
get your.
24-hour
See,
fitness and jump around.
see,
You're a bitch.
I hold 3 black belts, right? So that came with discipline, bro.
When's the last time you
Didn't
got into
just
a
come
fight?
like me trying to go pick up fights on the streets. No, we
When's
don't
the
do
last
like. I
time you
use
got
it for
into a fight?
self-defense.
All right, Black.
When-
Obviously, this conversation is not going to be productive. We already see that. Let me go ahead and introduce Jay Black. Okay, let me see if this brother's a little more smarter than you, because obviously you just
Because
come
you
on
get your
here.
ass whooped. That's why. Because you're pussy.
Bro, you're not gonna beat my ass across the screen. Relax.
You're just
calm,
pussy,
calm
though.
down. Calm
You just know that you
down.
talk like you hard, though.
Calm down, brother. With all that testosterone you got, just go ahead and join the army already. All right. Let's see
No,
how
we
long you
whipping
fucking
ass.
last.
We whipping
We'll
ass.
see how long
Whipping
you
Africa's
last.
ass.
All right. Shut up. Shut the fuck up. Jay Black, what's up?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Welcome to the panel, brother. Do you want to introduce yourself with your race and ethnicity and where you're from? And then I'll let you chime in.
I'm an African American from America.
Okay, awesome.
He's
Whereabouts in America, brother?
I'm from Connecticut originally, but I live in Texas now.
You from
Okay.
Africa, nigga.
Awesome, brother. Black.
I take it, bro.
Nobody
I'm from
asked you.
Africa,
Nobody
bro.
asked you, Black. Okay, listen. Me and Great
Ain't
Man
nothing
were
wrong
just
with
having.
being from Africa.
Why can't
bro.
I mute you? Hold on.
This
Hold on.
dude's being pimped by Tariq Nasheed. That's
Of
all it
course he
is.
is, brother. We were just trying to tell him. And me and Great Man were just having a conversation about how Black Americans, they hate the word African American. They don't think that Black Americans still refer to themselves as African American because they don't have a problem
We
with
beat their
Africa.
asses.
But people like Black, bro, like they make you choose a side. And if you say you're African American, now you're just African. You're not Black
Hell
American
yeah.
anymore. So
Exactly.
this is their mentality, brother. This is not how we think. We still have respect for Black Americans that don't
Nah, you're not
that
black,
don't
bro.
convert to FBAs, but we know that saying Black American, and if they hate saying African American or hate people referring to themselves as African American, we know there's an issue there. So go ahead, Jay Black. My bad. Don't let Black
So
go.
people who hate saying that they're African American are basically saying that they're Native American or indigenous to America?
Well, not technically, almost like native, almost like like they were born here and they're proud to be from America. So they think African American is a political tool used by people like Jesse Jackson. They say, even though we've debunked that already, but that identity itself does not help them because it only holds them down because
No, it doesn't. We can't
white
be
tea
deported.
Americans would think of them as Africans and they don't want anything to do with
No,
Africa.
can
So
we be
that's why.
deported? Is the problem? Can we be deported?
Uh,
No.
c- can
I
you
mean, I
can
was
you
born
can you
here.
stay
I can't be
muted?
deported either.
Yes, you can, because your parents are illegal.
You
My
see, and
parents
then
are
this is
not
what they
illegal.
do. Yeah, Jay
My
Black,
mom was born here. My father was born here.
tell them Black.
No, we're gonna get you out of here, bro. Just take time.
Hey, Black Paul, man, you need to hit the gym, bro. I mean, come
Yo,
on,
Hey,
I
man.
swear, I've been scrolling through live all day, man. Some of these people are like delusional, bro. I swear.
straight up, bro. We
It don't
know.
make make any sense. Like
Why can't I mute
the
this nigga
banter
though?
that
Hold on.
comes from these people's mouth, bro. Like,
I'm gonna
how can
make.
you say we'd be deported? I have a birth certificate. My mom has
Yeah,
a birth certificate.
you know
It's
why?
just,
You
it's
know why
just a
they
piece of
think that,
paper.
brother? You know why they think that, Jay Black?
You're all liars. You're
Go,
all on
great man. Go
welfare.
ahead and follow me back so I can make you mod because I can't mute this nigga. I don't know why.
You're on
Hey, Black
welfare.
Power, you gotta be quiet though because I gotta let other people talk or I'm gonna just drop you. Okay, bro?
But I'm saying they're all on welfare. All these immigrants.
Bro,
You know what I
okay,
mean? They're just a
okay,
burden on the
fine. All
system.
right, that's fine, bro. Well, just be quiet though. I gotta let him talk.
The poorest.
Vibes, I
I'm
just
not.
followed you,
I don't
bro.
like to talk down on people, but the poorest demographic right now are Native Americans. That indigenous. I don't know what people classify them as, Siberian, whatever. But
Right.
if you look at the numbers, they are the poorest demographic.
Right. I mean, we do have a demographic that calls themselves indigenous to America. And I feel like the FBAs are trying to gravitate towards people that call themselves American Indians so they can claim America as their home and not Africa, while shitting on Africa or Africans and talking down to them. So we do have that. But the FBA knows this. They know this because it's on Tariq Nasheed's website, right, where it says that they do have African descendancy, that their ancestors are African. So they can't deny that, So this is how they're getting pimped, Jay Black, because here they are talking shit to Africans and their ancestors are rolling in their graves, right? Just listening to them spew this rhetoric and this xenophobic hate is what it is at the end of the day. So you can't be an FBA and talk shit to Africans, right? That's first. And then second of all, they again, Tariq Nasheed might not be your leader, right? But he is your owner. He owns the brand. FBA is a brand. It's not a lineage, okay? He's making money off y'all. He really pimping y'all, And the only thing you're learning on his channel is how to diss African people. Tariq Nasheed is a minstrel show. He be over there doing the African accents. He loves the African accents. He can't get away from that, bro, because that's how he generates his money, by you dumbass niggas over there laughing, hooting, and hollering, and you can't get enough of that entertainment. See, and that's what's so sad. It's so sad. I'll give it to Tariq Nasheed. He's a charismatic dude, and he's pretty witty. If I needed him on a roast sessions, I'd be like, and I know a lot of my African brothers that have problems with Nigerians or other countries. They would love Tariq Nasheed to talk shit to them because they don't respect those. Within the African house, right? We have our own issues, so that's why Tariq Nasheed is funny to to everyone.
Balls, bro.
Bro, you're obsessed with balls, Black. Get off.
Most people don't even know who he was before he actually created that brand. There's a book called The Art of Mackin by Tariq Nasheed. Came out in I think 2003 or 4, something like that.
Right. Yeah, tell us a little bit more. My friend just bought that book just so we can dive into that shit. But go ahead, Jay Black.
He got a book called The Art of Mackin. And it's basically trying to teach you, how to control women, how to manipulate them, and all of this other stuff. I read a couple chapters of it, but I didn't really get into it because it was like, what do you know what I mean? It just didn't make any sense to me. Also, his wife is biracial. You know, she's part Indonesian or something like that, or somewhere from Asia. I can't remember where, but like, most people don't even know like who they're following. So that's why the FBA just don't make no sense to me. Now, this new thing just came out, Lumbee, the Lumbee tribe of North Carolina. I see a lot of people starting to gravitate towards that. So now I know they're making up stuff now, you know.
Yeah, that's very
Yes,
true, man.
brother.
Tariq Nasheed is a he's not is I don't think he's good for the FBAs, man. He's a distraction. He's trying to distract them from a lot of things, and you know, eventually he's probably gonna try to tell them that he's actually opening up a so-called black people's hospital, and people need to start donating money, and people donate, you know, because he's actually brainwashing them now. Once he gets to the point, they'll do anything for him, and then after that, you know, including like that man is so dangerous that he can even, you know, because a lot of time, you know, when the women's come up on his panel, he's always asking them to open up like open your camera, open, and then you know, if they do, then he start saying some random stuff about, you know, and you're like, man, this guy's got some really he needs help or something, you know what I mean? Like he's not mentally stable. He cannot. That's why we are trying to ban him from using TikTok, because you know he need to do some self maintenance. So he need to probably go for a rehab or something, because he definitely need help. And because of that, he's not in a position to try and help the FBAs. So we want to serve these African Americans that are calling themselves FBAs from Tariq Nasheed, and that's what we're doing, and we're not gonna stop doing it until the mission is accomplished.
Yeah, it don't make, to me it's sort of similar to the movement, the BLK movement, because I'm not sure like how y'all view that movement, but they were here for about 3 years, and then they just disappeared. No one even says it, you know, that term anymore. So I just think this is just another movement similar to that.
Well, yeah, brother, I would agree. I'm cutting this turkey for my mom because she wants to make some turkey enchiladas.
The BLM movement. Black
But yeah, I was gonna say, brother. Well, that's the thing right now with the a lot of the Democrats.
Super rich, and then disappeared.
So check it though. The only reason why they have so much momentum right now because of their hate towards Democratic Party. You know, I think they're both the same. You know, the double-headed snake. You know, you can't trust either one. So, and that includes Black Americans that pick one side or the other. You know. But right now, because of this current administration, they punch down on Democrats and they want like revenge because of Obama and Biden and everything that happened, all the movements that happened under their current administration, right? So you can include Black Lives Matter, you can include LGBTQ, right? You can include all these things that did get out of control, you know, and that white Republicans thought that the world was going to end. And they put that same fear in Black Americans that were on the fence, you know, because of all this stuff happening. And so they either had to pick a side, you know, and so obviously they picked the Republicans because they wanted change. They wanted something different. All right. Sorry, I got my mom over here. So with that, guys, I just wanted to say there's obvious reasons why Black Americans right now are so supportive of this current administration, because they wanted to see those changes, and Donald Trump promised them change, right? It didn't matter how the change came. It didn't matter how the fuck he was going to do it. He was just going to do it. And so that's why they don't give a fuck about the results of what he does or what comes out about Trump, whether it's the Epstein files or whether he's bombing Africa, and all these things are just like, oh, well, that's not hurting Black Americans. That's actually helping us because X, Y, and Z.
you know?
Right.
And so we have to, um, so that's why they're jumping on the bandwagon right now, and they don't care what he does. And that's so dangerous because you can turn a blind eye to some shit. Instead of instead of criticizing that or something, you champion it. You fucking you double down on that shit. So that's what's dangerous about it, you know. Anyways, I'm rambling a little too much. We got two new guests. Wait, Jack Black, did you want to say any thoughts before I leave? And Great Man, do you want to say anything about what we just said before I move on?
I'm good, bro. You can go ahead.
Yeah. I just wanted to add on top of what you said, Vibes. So yeah, it's definitely true. It's, these days, like he said everything and anything because he was seeking votes from, the black people, right? So he knew that, they can definitely help him to get into this office. So he was using them as he was, as a politician, he was using them to be able to get into this position. Now that he has used them and he knows that he was not going to be able to run for a second term, so he don't really he don't care. Like, he will do anything that he wants to do, and he knows he don't need them anymore. He has basically used them like a tissue paper. Now he's flashing the water and the tissue is gone. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Okay, thank you for that, Great Man. I do, yeah, like just the same way he did, he took out. Remember when he came into office and he got Black. What's his name? He got all those artists, right? All those Black entertaining artists out of jail, just to be like, hey, look at me, man. Look at what I can do for y'all. You see, I took these charges down. I took them out of the, now they can tap dance for y'all, and they can keep entertaining y'all with all that shit that they talk about. So, I mean, look at what he's doing with Barb, right? Nicki Minaj, like, so he's definitely using pimping y'all. He's a better pimp than Tariq Nasheed. You see, Tariq Nasheed looks up to Donald Trump. You feel me? But here, I'm gonna move on. Welcome up, new panelists. Let's go in order. Galaxy, welcome to the panel. Can I get your race, your ethnicity, where you're from?
I'm African American. I am from the Caribbean.
Okay, welcome up, sister. Welcome up to the panel. Go ahead and you can respond to anything we just talked about, or you can speak on this beautiful picture right here.
By the way, I love your picture because oh shoot, my headphones is dying as soon as I got up here. But it's quite obvious from being on TikTok that Black Americans love their position as the pit bull for this current presidency. So what can we do? All we can do at this point is allow them to just be who they want to be. But what I'd like to speak on is that FBAs keep coming online and saying that they want to delineate because of the things that happened to their ancestors and how our ancestors subjected them to it and whatnot. First of all, we share the same ancestors, right? Second of all, if you delineate, who is gonna protect you? Like who is gonna protect you? Like these people, they like to. Ah, shit, my battery died. But yeah, as I was saying, they don't like to look at the big picture, and they keep coming online and saying, oh, well, y'all need to go home. Y'all need to get out of our country. But this is not your country because your ancestors were brought here by force. With that being said, I heard an FBA say on a panel about 2 or 3 days ago that FBAs got on the transatlantic slave ships on their own voluntarily. So, like the mental illness surrounding this whole FBA thing is like way out of control. And that's really all I wanted to say.
That's a new one right there. We voluntarily hopped on them boats. Yeah, that's an interesting perspective. I like to pick that brain a little bit more. No, we were literally jumping off the boats midway the Atlantic because we knew what we were about. We were about to head into being domesticated. Our ancestors knew, like, just jump into the ocean. It's better than going through the conditioning, that worked. that literally worked on our people here in America. So thank you for that, sister. Go ahead, gather. Welcome to the panel. Can I get you introduce yourself with your race and ethnicity, where you're from?
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, brother, loud and clear. You good?
Okay. Could you go to the next person and then I'll come right back?
Yeah, that's fine, gather. Hey, Faye. Hey, sister. Welcome. Happy holidays
Hi,
to
happy
you.
holidays. Hope you're
Can you
spending it
introduce
well.
yourself? Yeah, thank
Yeah,
you. Can
so
you introduce yourself to the lovely panelists? And then, yeah, you know how it goes.
yeah, so my name's Faye. I'm a mixed African woman from England. I'm just here because I care about the diaspora, which is more than what the man, uh, either man in the picture can say. Been up here before with Vibes. He's chill. I just come and give my opinion on what's going on. I've seen this picture more times than I want to. It's gonna haunt me in my sleep. Um, yeah, I think there's a lot going on. I'm actually really upset about the things I'm reading coming out of these documents that are being produced. Right now, I'm really, really upset by them, but I just don't. I don't know. I don't know if it's just the fear or if like this administration is really resonating with the wider Afro-American population. I hope not. I hope they don't fall for these lies because this administration is not even working out for YT people. So why do they think it's not work out for them? I don't get it. I hope it's not. I hope they're not falling for it, but they might be. I know that the dog in the picture is definitely falling for it. Maybe he doesn't even. Maybe he's grifting as well because I remember he was on like a show or something saying, you know how much I'm being quoted for to talk about immigrants? These white conservatives want to pay me to talk bad about you guys. And I don't know, maybe he's just here for the money, here for the bag. I think he is. But there's definitely dangerous precedents being set right now. I hate the way that too many FBAs on these lives, sorry, are now like threatening violence against immigrants, Caribbeans, Africans, or even their own Afro Americans who stand with either of our groups. There's now this actual, I don't know, like voluntary organization of like these FBAs who are like saying they're gonna pull up on Africans and Caribbeans and Alivers and all of this crazy, crazy talk. And they're starting to say that they're going to join ICE and that they love ICE. And I'm like, ICE has PDF files in it, by the way. Like, guys with DV convictions, PDF files, domestic abusers. Like, why do you see yourselves in these people? But they do, because they don't care. They don't care about any of that. I'm really just disappointed. That's all I have to say.
Okay, thank you, sister. Hola. And it's true. Hold on, give me a second. I'm give me a second. Great man, can you take or gather if you wanted to talk now?
Yeah, I just want to add on top what Faye said. Very, very true. I agree with that 100%. So they are being used to, for him to cover up his dirty, dealings. I mean, as we are here, he's actually building, hotels in the Qataris and VIP clubs and all that stuff for his, rich billionaires. So you gotta ask yourself, where's that money coming from? Like, you know what I mean? So, and if you see the ICE operations and the money that was actually has been, the big beautiful bill that was passed, and how much is going toward the ICE operations, and you see how low the numbers are, and you can see that he's definitely, you know, stealing a lot of that money, doing his own things, but he's telling you guys that he's going toward ICE operations and yeah, so people need to open up their eyes and stand with the truth.
Okay, yeah, so I'm Gather. I'm in my late 30s. I'm African American, and I've only been on TikTok for close to a year. And I honestly didn't know that there was this, I guess you call it diaspora war between Black Americans and Africans. I guess maybe because I live in the Southeast in a smaller town. So it's just basically Black Americans, white Americans, and a sprinkle of immigrants, mainly Mexican and maybe like East Asian, South Asian. And I've lived in this community, pretty much all my life. America is huge, so when people say African Americans, I understand that we all get grouped, under the same umbrella. But because it's so huge, and because we've been in this country for a long time, there's vast, I won't say vast, but there are regional differences. And oftentimes, like, people who live, like, in my state, they might not necessarily have family members or go to other states per se, because even the states are huge, sometimes as big as countries. So my perspective on all this is, it was kind of shocking at first, 'cause I was like, oh, I didn't know there was this divide. I didn't really have much to think of it, really. But since I've been listening to this rhetoric for about a year, I feel like the whole FBA thing is a bit, I guess, over exaggerated. It feels like it's mostly online because, in my everyday life, and I've been around black people, my whole life, and we've never had discussions about hating Africans, hating Caribbeans. Like, it's never happened. I've been to black churches all my life. I've worked in black environments. I've went to black schools. And, this idea of black Americans hating Africans and Caribbeans is very alien to me because I've never heard it in my everyday life, even in being on TikTok for nearly a year and hearing this rhetoric, and then being in my regular life, just kind of, trying to see if maybe it might pop up in real life. I've never seen it. And I remember a couple of months ago, I saw this TikTok by this young lady. She was African American, and she said that the FBA movement, I think it has more to do with Africans and Caribbeans than it does for Black Americans, because she mentioned something in there that was key. She said, when you hear these various beliefs like the Pretendians and the Hebrew Israelites and now FBA, we as black people, we have a way of ignoring it so that it'll go away. Like, the less attention you put on it, eventually it'll just snuff itself out and it'll just be in the corner somewhere, where all the we call them hoteps. We just kind of group them all under that. And we're just like, oh yeah, he's a hotep person, blah, blah, blah. And mainly you hear this on the internet. Like I said, I'm in my late 30s, so I encountered, these people when I got on the internet, like just after the year 2000, when I got my first laptop and started to get on the internet. I think it was like dial-up then it moved to broadband, and that's when I encountered these people, these black people with all these alternative beliefs. I was like, oh, okay, that's where it comes from. So I feel like with the FBA people, I feel like African and Caribbean people are just giving them so much attention that it's making them bigger than what they really are. And I feel like if y'all was just stop having lives about them, just stop giving them all your attention, like, their popularity would just shrink like that. And I think, so I think that's part of what it's coming from, because y'all just keep going back and forth. And it's like, it just seemed, and then another part of it, I feel, because I've kind of wondered this for a while, and I was like, are these people getting paid? Because it feels in some ways like it's a psyop. Because I'm like, it just doesn't seem that natural that, like, black people will actually have that much negativity or disdain for African and Caribbean people, because it just doesn't make any sense. I'm not saying that some black people and some Africans and some Caribbeans, some people, people are people. Some people are going to like each other, some people are going to be indifferent, and some people will love each other. So, it's like on one hand you see this, but on the other hand you'll see TikToks of, you got, marriage across ethnic lines, and, you got Black Americans and Liberians, Black Americans and Nigerians. It's like a hodgepodge of this stuff on TikTok. And, oh yeah. Now, when it comes to the immigration piece, it seems like that's also a part of it as well. And I felt like, it seems to me like the Latino immigration will probably be a bigger issue than the African and Caribbean immigration, because the African and Caribbean immigration numbers just aren't as high as the Latinos. The Latinos at one point, had a smaller population, like going back a couple of decades, and then their population has expanded. And I feel like that's where the whole immigration issue comes from. It seems like it's a Latino issue rather than an African or Caribbean issue. So I don't understand that as well. I don't know, I'm kind of rambling a little bit, but those are just a few of my thoughts about this
I hear you, Gather.
or FBA. As an African American person who lives in a small town, we don't have much immigration. again, re-emphasizing that. So I'm just going to say that a lot of Black Americans live in situations like mine, where you have, we're all scattered across the United States, mainly in the Southeast, Texas and whatever. We live in smaller towns where we don't really encounter immigration. There's a lot of Black Americans that haven't even encountered a Caribbean or an African person. So it's like we don't really have a real idea or real experience with y'all to say that we hate y'all or whatever. A lot of us we don't even know. So in places like that, we just don't have any opinions at all because there's nothing to really have. So when I get on TikTok and I see it, I'm like, well, where is the center of these FBA diasporic discussions coming from? Is it like the Northeast, like NYC, where it's more diverse, or in areas where immigrants often settle, like Philly, New York City, Connecticut, and those places? Is that the epicenter of the problems there?
Yeah, I definitely hear. I definitely appreciate your perspective because I've definitely thought about that too, and I'm pretty aware that not all Black Americans think like this, or African Americans think like this, and I would hope it'd be true the vice versa. That not all Black Americans think like this about Africans or Caribbeans influenced by these people online, whether it be our own people acting out against an FBA or if it's an FBA acting out against an African. So you're definitely right about these small population, not small population, but Black communities that are Black and white communities that are isolated from this rhetoric, And this is why I always say you're never going to meet a real an FBA in real life. You're only going to meet them here on TikTok, right? Because I constantly have to remind Black Americans what a FBA is, So those are indications to let you know that it's not spread, it's not wildfire yet, and it probably won't be. This thing will probably die down for sure. It's just the reason why you see me and other people up here. And at first, let me be honest about this. When I first came online, when I first came to TikTok, I had an account before, but I was doing community work, I'm a surf instructor, and I help street vendors out, these indigenous street vendors that this white tea, predominantly white tea community that I live in, they look down on these people here. They don't want them here because the aesthetics doesn't look right. They call it a flea market or whatever. So, I kind of push back on that because they don't understand the culture. They'll never understand the culture, So anyways, I did all this community work and I did my TikTok rounds on that. So I'd be posting all the work I do in the community. And I grew my accounts. I grew two of my accounts up to like 60,000 followers. And those eventually got banned, because I would show like some raw shit about how this community treats both Black and brown people. And so I got a lot of hate from the white tea community, and because I would kind of expose them. And so, okay, so that was my first interaction with TikTok. And I thought it was beautiful because I got so much support. I got so many people like reaffirming what I'm doing, from all over the world, which was beautiful, like people that supported from all over. And just like, it's TikTok can be a really beautiful thing in that way, where you can see support and you can see if people don't support you in your own community, people outside of that community, you can have more exposure, right? So that's what I saw beautiful about it. But it has its dark side with everybody that comes after you or doxes you or whatever the case might be, right? So I was really pissed off about those accounts being banned. I couldn't get them back, and so I was just, it left a nasty taste in my mouth. So the next time I came on TikTok, I jumped on these lives, right? It was the first time doing it, and it kind of started growing a little faster. It was like maybe 2 years ago. And okay, sorry. This thing, sorry, I'm lying. The live thing, I started like last year. Yeah, last year. Definitely last year. And when I hopped on here, I met a group of friends, right? And these friends were from LA. Okay, just check it out. This is inner city LA, Black Americans, right? And
these Black Americans were talking about that they were indigenous to America, So, I was like on here I didn't know it didn't go off crazy at first, but I was like, all right, let's listen to these brothers about what they think about, and let's, I'm trying to, but, they start talking about this rhetoric about how Africans are treating them. And I was like, really? And they were like, yeah, these Africans come on here and they just talk down to us and think that, that just like all the things that do happen, with cultural exchanges, and I was just a little surprised because I was like, I felt bad, I was like, I was supposed to be I was like, all right, well, those are my, if they're Africans, I'm African too. And I could stick up for you guys. All right. Like, I won't let any of my people talk down to you guys like that. So I took it upon myself to check like Africans that came on their panel and started that rhetoric. I saw that hate brewing but I had a different perspective about it because I heard them out first. And I know about Black American history. I know about, the plight of African Americans here. And so, I got degrees in this shit. So I took it upon myself to defend Black Americans, African Americans against, let's say, racist or xenophobic outsiders, right? And so when I took on that challenge, yes, I did see like even my own people, Ethiopians or East Africans, come up on here and start talking down to this group of friends that I had. But I had no idea about, I was new to it. So I saw the shit talking going back and forth and I was like, all right. And I started chiming in, talking down to these brothers that came in here just talking shit to Black Americans. And so, and yes, there was the Ethiopians that, that come here and they think that they're American now and they look down on, I definitely catch that coonery going on, that sell out kind of, so I definitely saw it from that perspective, but then it changed really fast. It looked like now my friends that I was hanging out with were only looking for beefs online with African people or Caribbean people or Mexican people. And they were doing the same shit. They were saying the most horrific things about these people. So it's like, at what point are we going to step back and be like, if we don't want it to be done to us, why do we do it to somebody else? And so I quickly found myself like backing up and being like, okay, I'm not in the right group right here. I thought I was helping them out, but now I just became them. I just became this kind of hate that is brewing. And this formulated into like the current administration and all this stuff that ends up anti-immigration. And now I see these guys, I'm still friends with them, but they're one of the top like people talking the most shit about Africans, getting all these rates and all these views because they double down on it. They see the exposure they get, and they see all these Black Americans again. And this is all online for the most part, bro. And now I see them and they see me, right? And I'm on the other side now. But like, it's just so funny so I just say all that to say that, I definitely understand when coming into this fold, coming into lives, that it just became something completely different in who we're doing. Now, the reason why we come to speak to our African American brothers or the African diaspora or the Black diaspora is because now we understand where this could go. And we want to educate our people about how to deal with this type of behavior, because they are going to come face to face with it online. Now, I don't want the African or immigrants to think that all Black Americans think like this, right? I don't want them to think that all African Americans think like this. This is not them, so I could hold weight on that. And vice versa, I don't want Black Americans and African Americans to think that, I don't want the immigrants to think that all Black Americans are FBAs, and I don't want the Black Americans and African Americans to think Africans are like these Africans that are on TikTok, giving shit back or roasting back or talking their shit, right? Because at the end of the day, we all talk our shit. But some things have to stay in-house, because a lot of these things are being watched and observed by the white T or these Black MAGAs or these white MAGAs
that use all this against us. So I know that there's a bigger thing going on, right? So I know I'm rambling now, but I do want to say thank you for that, Gather, because it is true, and it's not that we're giving it more attention. I feel like we're just, and maybe we are, maybe we are at the moment, but I feel like it should be more about education and how to deal with these kind of, and you're right, not giving them the space, I have to say I do attract these people because I do want to talk to them. I do want to pick their brain, and some of them end up just agreeing with me or changing their perspective about Africans, right? And admitting that they're not all like that, even though they come into these spaces already thinking that they're going to come out on top and talking shit, but they come out actually educated and not as aggressive, and they understand that we're not all the same. So I'll stop my rambling. I know I lost everybody's attention, but hopefully you heard it.
Yeah, I heard you. Yeah, that was, I guess, a little bit of what was disheartening because, being on TikTok for nearly a year, then kind of going through these different videos and reading the comments and things. And I think some of the comments that really piss me off the most are, oh, we're not African, we're Native American. Don't call me African, call me Native American. And I'm like, I'm almost 40 years old and was always educated that, we are the African descendant people. So when I see those comments, it's like, oh, it's just, can't believe you got people actually saying that. And the fact that you have such a loud minority on the internet, that's, the FBA or Pretenders or whatever you want to call them, making such a fuss about it. And it's like, because of their loudness on the internet, it kind of puts us all under the same umbrella. And I can understand, people like, oh, those African American or those Black Americans, they don't think they're African, they don't think this. And I understand because they're so loud that it kind of drowns out everybody else. And so it's just like, you just got to, I understand it. It's just like, you just got to take the licks because we're a part of this group. We're all part of this ethnic group or whatever you want to call it. And it's just, I don't know.
Yeah, facts. You got to take them licks, man. But I think for the most part, Gather, it's about the youth, man. It's about informing the youth, not like, because I have to have empathy sometimes for some Black Americans that want to be an FBA. They're like, oh, well, I like the sound of that. We are foundational. And but they don't understand the whole other aspect to it, the Tariq Nasheed, the xenophobia, the all this shit, and so we do have to educate them because I don't want them to walk into this blind. They gotta know both sides of the coin, and to know what you're subscribing to, so I think I do it more for that. I do it more for the young, like-minded minds, that have the willingness to help their people no matter where they come from in the diaspora. And I don't want that to be overshadowed or I don't want that to be blocked by an ignorant person here in America that has their political viewpoints that are aligning with this current administration, and having distaste for anybody foreign, because if America lives off of foreign lands, it's international. For us to cut off the rest of the world is kind of like cutting yourself off. If the government doesn't do it, why should you as a citizen? So, anyways.
So when I was in school, when I was in college.
Hold on, more. Do you mind introducing yourself, brother? But hold on, I let Faye hasn't said anything, and I don't want her just to leave. And people think I ignore people just because I start going off on my rants. Faye, do you want to say anything before I introduce more?
Oh no, I just wanted to let you know that outsiders definitely know the internal conflicts in the wider Black diaspora. Absolutely. Because I was on this guy's live, his name's Mayo something. I don't know, his whole shtick is triggering and annoying Black people online. And he was going off about how entitled Black Americans are, Afro-Americans, ADOS people, the descendants of slavery, and how he knows that Black Africans can't stand you guys. So they absolutely do know. They're very aware. And I fucking hate that because it's more proof of what I already knew, that like YT people are gonna see things like this and drive a wedge between us, and they're gonna help fuel elitism that unfortunately some Africans and Caribbeans do have towards Black Americans. Like, it's gonna get worse. And I've even seen cases where like some of us, like on either side, any of the sides, will make appeals towards YT authority and say things like, "Oh, the YT man likes us more," or "he trusts us more," and it's like, why do we fucking care? He has given us hell in all of our spaces in Africa, in the Caribbean, in America. Why do we care what he thinks? Like, why? But yeah, they know.
Yeah, that's big facts. I agree with you 100%. This premium black, like we are more aligned with this master than you are. We've built America. We built it, but we don't ask who'd you build it for. They love to say we built the White House. Well, is there an FBA in the White House? And why did you paint it white? Why isn't the White House black? Why didn't you paint it black if you built it all? If you made it all happen? That's a little joke I had. But anyways, let's go ahead and move on to more. Welcome to the panel, my brother. Can you introduce yourself with your race and ethnicity and where you're from?
Well, I'm Somali, but I grew up here in the United States. I live in Minnesota. But
Awesome,
yeah,
brother.
man.
Awesome, bro. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the panel. And go ahead and respond to anything that you've heard or speak on this beautiful picture we have here on the panel.
Yeah, this is exactly what mega picture, about black people who voted for Donald Trump, but yeah, man, when I was in college, I used to hear about, because we used to have different debates and all that stuff. I used to hear about the term ADOS, but now I'm seeing, how do you say, FBA thing. I honestly heard this term on Facebook. I never heard when I was in college and all that stuff. So it's shocking and how those people who are trying to push this idea are the most racist people I have ever seen in America, I mean, some of them have pictures of like monkeys saying, how Africans look like monkeys and all that stuff. Or Pushman, like some savage looking people in Africa, this is how the picture of Africa looks like, which is really shocking, and this is coming from other black people here in America. So yeah, I'm really discouraged this term FBA thing.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that's so true about us not hearing about FBA until these like couple of years. Well, wait, what are we? Yeah, last year I think is when I first heard it. So it's not for them to try to convince us that all the icons, all the legends were FBAs. You see what they're trying to do with that, guys, and I hope you catch it, is that they're trying to merge Black American, the identity Black American, with FBA. And they're doing so that everything can fall into the new FBA category. So when we defend ourselves or attack them for their rhetoric, they can call it a hate crime or hate speech against them. So they can use the current administration and the laws to say that we foreigners are being racist to these Black domestic coons, and that's why they boast about the 14th Amendment. This is why they try to recreate it like it hasn't been done. Like they think, Tariq Nasheed calls it the new Renaissance. And it's so funny because he really thinks this is really going to pop off the way he expects it to go. But again, FBA is a brand, guys. Remember that, okay? He said he's
sorry to interrupt you. So the FBA, are they the ones who voted for Donald Trump in the last election? Would you say that those are the type of people who are now FBA, people who voted for Trump?
I think, Black Americans, I believe, were they weren't the majority of people voting for Trump. I think it was the Latinos. Oh, that's another thing I wanted to say to you, Gather. It really, but more, I'll let you finish your thought. But Gather, I do want to speak on the Latino aspect. More, yeah. There weren't the majority voting for him, and we can't say there were FBAs because I just couldn't tell you. But what we have now are Black Americans that were on the fence on their political stance, right? And what you saw was, Democratic leaders like Obama or Biden who have failed America. Like, I don't believe in the political system here. Like, I think the Democrats are just as evil as the Republicans. I look at them like the Bloods and Crips, but just for the white tea purposes. And then so Black people have to just fall in line because they have to see where they're going to get this federal funding or these what is it, grants or any kind of privileges under the current administrations. Oh, sorry, they have to pick a side. They have to vote. So, I think he dropped. But regardless of the fact, we just talked about this, how so there was more pressure for them to become, if they wanted change in America, they had to go for Trump because he promised change. It didn't matter what kind of change, he just promised change, right? So they just hopped on
that's
that
how I feel
bandwagon,
about it.
and they've been on that bandwagon ever since. That's why they can overlook all the shit he's doing in other countries. That's why everybody can overlook what they're doing to people here, and just because they say it doesn't affect us, it doesn't affect us. He's actually doing what we've always wanted him or wanted this administration to do. So that's where you see with that. But Gather, I wanted to tell you the whole Latino thing, and we should be concentrating on Latinos instead of Africans. We're getting back into this Latinos are all okay. When you say Latino, my brother, what you're saying is all Americans. Or all, like, America is not just the colonial borders of the United States. America is a whole continent. So it's any Latin American that speaks Spanish. Latin America is Latin America. It's South America. Okay. Now Hispanics are any Spanish speaking people. But you see how they lump all these groups together? So Black Americans don't like to be grouped up with other people, but they love to group up hordes of other people and generalize a whole group of people based off the actions of a small few. Now, when we're talking about Mexicans, right? Mexicans a nationality. Those are the people Donald Trump kicked out first, and that turned into all Latin people and all Hispanic people, right? Again, Spanish is a European language. So, I mean, Europeans have been fighting each other forever, right? So the Spanish hate the English and all that shit, right? This is where it all comes down to. It trickles down to us too, because now we take on their colonized language, and now we're hated on because speaking a colonized language. I just don't understand. But we do have to be careful with the whole Latin thing and Hispanic thing, just to understand the groups of people that we're talking about. And we can't lump them all in. Now, I'll give you this. The white Hispanics, the white Latinos, right? Not the indigenous, right? Not the Afro-indigenous, not the Black Mexican, not the Black Brazilian. Those people are our people, right? So we have to be careful to distinguish them all and to understand the colonization happening in all those countries and how they used caste systems and stuff like that to boast up only the white European people of those nations. Those are the people that you see on TV. Those are the people that are overrepresented and hold everyone else back that are in those countries. When we talk about deporting these people, I'm for that. Deport these white tea Latinos, these white Hispanics, these guys that have colonized these nations. Take them back to Europe. Fuck taking them back to the place that they colonized, But we have to be careful because our people are in all these other nations as well, But when we group them up by just saying Latino, Hispanic, it could be very dangerous. And that's the rhetoric that they pray and wish for us to use, So I did want to just throw that in there, Gather. But I know you didn't mean it like that. But I've always wanted to say, I've always had a wanted to say that again, to be clear. And I'm actually just talking to myself, okay? Because I have to remember this when these conversations come up. But
Yeah, yeah. I just wanted to say, like, the point that the other person made about the FBA wanting to, I guess, merge FBA with African Americans, and I feel like that won't work because as an African American myself, I listen to the rhetoric that these people have been saying for a year on TikTok, and I'm like, no Black American person, with any common sense is going to want to be recognized as that because they're known for being xenophobic and saying all kind of hateful, racist shit to Africans and Caribbeans. And I can't go out and be like, oh yeah, I'm an FBA, knowing what these people say on the internet. So that's never going to catch on nationwide anyway with Black American people. And then secondly, another point that they make that I don't like is this whole idea of fleeing. And I don't think it's a bad idea for people to leave their countries to go to other countries if the opportunity presents itself, or if they have the skills, when it comes to jobs or entrepreneurship. If they want, I think Black Americans should do it. And I think, us in this country, for a long time, a lot of us, we don't travel. I do have a passport, but I look at, recently on TikTok, I've seen Black Americans go to China or go to Nigeria, for Dirty December. And I think that's a good idea. Hook up and learn other cultures, go to other places. Hey, do it. It's 2025.
yeah, facts.
Why,
700. Hold on. I know you're gonna be wild. Hold on. I don't know you, but
no, man, why y'all got
hold
Donald Trump
on.
on here with a fucking
Shut
chain?
your bitch ass up, nigga. Shut up.
Say shit about
Shut the
Donald.
fuck up, nigga. I told you shut up.
Don't say shit about Donald.
Your mother.
Do you know what he's doing right now?
Okay,
Do you know what he's actually doing to
Faye,
children?
Hold on, Faye. I just have to
Oh
explain.
my.
I have to explain. 700. You got to calm down. I know you're mad about the picture, right? But calm down. We want to talk to you. We're gonna go in line. Peace is up next, and then we'll have to introduce you. And then just calm down, bro. We're gonna be okay. All right. So go ahead. Peace. Introduce yourself, my brother, and
Yes,
speak on what
yes,
we're talking about, or this beautiful
yeah,
picture, whichever one.
yeah. Peacemaker here, Igbo Nigerian. I just want to touch up a little bit, very briefly, on what the brother said regarding migration. He said that you guys are not traveling. The reason why you have not been traveling is because you never had cause to travel. You see, when we come to America because the opportunities were offered. We were lured into coming to America with all kinds of promises. Our countries are destabilized by Western countries, including America. And then they offer us asylum statuses. They even have what they call DV lottery that they run every year to get us out of our countries. These things, you can verify that yourself. We are talking about the media propaganda, what they put on TV, showing our children how it's better over here. They take the best photos of the best cities you have, like New York during Christmas, and they push that to our children, making them think all is well. The only way you can, escape whatever you're going through, which most people go through things in their countries. It doesn't matter whether it's Mexico or even Eastern Europe, like Latvia, Romania, and Estonia. All those people are rushing to Europe. You go to UK, you see a lot of them walking around. You see, but we have only 700,000 Nigerians in America out of 230 million. And you guys call that fleeing. 700,000? Some of them are just students that you give in scholarship. You offer them the scholarships to move them out of the country. That's why when you listen to Abraham Traore, he always talking about keeping their children in their country, providing jobs for them, training them, making sure they don't go through the abuses that you guys put us through when we come to your countries. You see? But black Americans are leaving their countries today, and we're talking about $30 trillion GDP that they live in, running to Vietnam with much lower GDP, running to Thailand, that even created something they call border hopping over there. When your visa about to expire, you cross over to Vietnam and come back over to Thailand so that you can renew your visa to stay there. I see countless videos that they're making all over the internet saying how life is good. Some of them swear they never come back to USA. We don't call that fleeing. Even though we're living from GDPs of 17 billion, 18 billion, some countries 2 billion, you guys are living from GDP of 30 trillion. And I'm the one fleeing. It's a sin the way black America turned out. It's very, very disappointing. And the other brother talked about deporting white Latinos or white Hispanics. How are you going to deport white Hispanics when America today, the trajectory is towards bringing white people into America, white people of any kind? So that would be counterproductive to where America is today. America prefer to deport the colored people and bring the white people of any kind. It doesn't even, they're trying to make new white people, asking Arabs, do you want to be white? If they say yes, you can come here, and be white with us. So how are they going to deport white Hispanics?
So peace. Well, I hear you. What I was saying, Gather was talking about we should concentrate on Latinos rather than Africans as Black Americans. And again, Gather's a good brother, man. He's not an FBA.
He's a bad brother. Don't say anything about Latinos either.
Hey, stop it. Stay in line, bro. We got a roll call right here. Relax. I just want peace. I want you to understand that Gather's a good brother. He understands what FBAs are trying to do. He's not part of that mess, right? So you probably just came up here right when he was talking about deportation, and we were talking about deportation. What I meant to, what I did say is instead of, because they're not deporting the white Latinos, they're only deporting the brown and black ones.
Exactly.
So that's what I was trying to say about deporting white Yeah, that's what I was trying to say about deporting the white ones. Back to, but again, they destabilize those countries too, and they whitewash those countries.
Of course. We know what the Allen Dulles and Frank Dulles did back in the 50s with a United Fruit Company down in Guatemala and Honduras and all those places. That's how imperialism was born. But let me finish very quickly now.
Yeah. Go ahead and land, and then I'll get this anxious guy up here so we can give him his list.
Very, very quickly. As unfortunate as he may sound, you guys can go ahead and team up with Hispanics, because I don't think you can come back from the damage you have done, in Africa. All the disrespect and all the oppression and all the bullying, both online and in real life. I don't think you guys can come back from that. I don't think it will ever leave our psyche. So I think it would be safer for you to go ahead and bond with Hispanics, because we already overpopulated in Nigeria. Is a country the size of California and Nevada, state of Nevada, and we have more than 250 million population. So we're not really looking for people. And if you look at everything we have done in the past 20 years, none of them came from outside blacks, non-continental blacks. So I don't think you guys are trustworthy people, in our eyes, as it stands today. You've been deceived by mixed people, and there is serious consequences for that. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for that. Again, everybody speaks for their own countries, their own opinions. Everything is not, how do I put this? not everything is reciprocated the same way, you know. But I do appreciate what you said, Peace, and you do speak truth to that. Now, I do guys want to remind you guys, I have to be I have to tread lightly because these FBAs be coming up here just reporting, right? So here's an example. I just got a restricted, all right, and I don't know if this live is going to be around, but your life contains themes that some may find uncomfortable and has been restricted. You know, reasons for misinformation. So they get up here and tell me that I'm misinforming the people. Okay, so this is all due to the great work that we do. You know, informing people about their misinformation and their xenophobia and their hatred. Okay, it's just they think we're doing the same thing, which we're not. You know what I mean? But I do wanna, and look, that guy 700 that was just up here, you know, when they're just up here to talk their shit, you know, they can't even sit patiently and wait for their turn. They literally just jump on from lives to lives to talk shit, and they bring that anger, that baggage. They bring this baggage because they've been roasted on African panels day in and day out, and they just wait. They hope to come into a live where we're not as witty and not as sharp, so they can just unfold and tell us about their FBA experience and how Africans have been hurting them, and all these like fucking scenarios and stories about how them and their ancestors since chattel slavery have been, you know, mistreated, and how we should be licking their ass, and they want a red carpet on MySpace. No, fuck you. Go back to where the fuck you came from. And don't come up here with that energy. Like, we're here to educate, okay? So anyways, I'm sorry. I kind of ranted. Go ahead, Gather. Do you want to say something?
Oh yeah, let me make sure my mic. Okay, yeah, it's on. Yeah, I just wanted to respond to Peacemaker's some of the comments he made, and I just want to say that I didn't say Africans or Caribbeans were fleeing. I was just saying that I don't like the point that FBA makes to say that Africans or Caribbeans are fleeing. I don't agree with that rhetoric at all. I think people should be able to go to wherever the opportunities are. And then I also wanted to say that, well, you weren't here when I said this, but I was telling the panel that a lot of African Americans like myself, we grew up in, you know, smaller towns throughout the U.S. And so basically we don't really encounter immigration like that. It's usually a smaller or mid-sized town or
Right.
city with black Americans and white Americans and a sprinkle of, you know, Latinos from south of the border and maybe some Asian or Indian immigrants. And it wasn't until I got on TikTok that I became aware of, oh my goodness, there is this whole quote unquote diaspora divide between black Americans and other groups of black people. And then I became aware of, I've listened to a few panels and a few videos on TikTok where, you know, African people describe their experiences with, you know, African American people upon coming to this country, the name calling, the bullying. And, you know, I'm in my late 30s, so I was in school in the 90s. So, and then because of where I live, you know, there just wasn't any immigration, so I didn't go to school with Caribbeans or Africans. I didn't really encounter maybe one or two of them until I went to college. But like the African booty scratcher term, I heard that maybe at least 2 times in my life, probably in elementary school, and they used that term to target, you know, people who were dark skinned like me, you know, calling somebody that. But I've only heard that in elementary school twice. But, you know, hearing people's stories on TikTok and everything, it got me to realize how pervasive it is in some areas. And I'm assuming these areas are probably going to be in the Northeast, where there is a lot of diversity and immigration. So I'm assuming New York City, New York State, Connecticut, Boston, Baltimore, Washington D.C., DMV, places like that. But I guess here in the South, you know, where I'm at, we just weren't aware of any of that because, again, we don't really have immigration like that. But I could understand your point about, you know, not, you know, seeing us as a duplicitous group of people because from what I've heard on TikTok and the rhetoric that I've heard from FBA, if I heard those types of people talking too, I wouldn't want anything to do with them too. And I understand because I'm African American, I have to share the burden with that. You know, you just have to take the licks with it. So I get it, and I understand your point. I understand that as well. And you know, it's just it's unfortunate because a lot of Black Americans just haven't met immigrants or you know, Caribbeans or Africans like that because y'all just aren't here in our small towns. But I understand because we're a part of the larger group, we have to take that. And then it also makes me realize how different we Black Americans are from each other. Because like the experiences or, you know, or the things that's happening in more diverse cities like the Northeast and the Mid-Atlantic, those things just aren't happening here. And I don't live too far from the Gullah Geechee corridor, you know, which is along the southeast coast of the United States. And so we've always, you know, known that we are an African descended people, you know, the people who grew rice and everything like that. So, you know, when I listen to the rhetoric that I hear online and when I'm learning, and it's just like how in the fuck can you like bully and tease African people when, you know, we have the same ancestors? Like this shit just don't make any sense to me. And then I hear these people say all kind of foul shit on the internet about African people and Caribbean people. And for the life of me, I can't, like my brain shuts down because I can't fathom it. It's like unfathomable for people, you know, like in my everyday life. And I was just telling the panel earlier, you know, I'm almost 40 years old and, you know, I've been in all Black spaces. I've been to all Black churches and work environments and schools and stuff. And I've never heard this rhetoric on TikTok in real life. You know, people having such disparaging words to say about African people or Caribbean people or talking about their poverty or anything like that. If anything, we defended it. Because back then, you know, you would hear white people say certain things about Africa or whatever. And in real life, we'd be like, you know, even like when it comes to the propaganda with us, you know, because this was before social media in the 90s. And, you know, when I went to school and everything, they didn't really teach us much about Africa. But I don't blame them. I blame the parents. The parents should be the main ones teaching us our history and everything like that. So, yeah, I just don't get it. I know I'm kind of rambling, so I'll just drop the mic.
All right, yeah. No, I appreciate it. Thanks for reiterating that because it is funny when people come on here, they automatically assume just by listening to some of it. Yeah, I got you, D-Dot, but I gotta let Jay Black talk first. But he got dropped. I mean, something happened. I don't know what happened to you, Jay Black. Let's do this quick. Yeah, Jay Black, go ahead and reintroduce yourself to everybody, and then just land your point, and then I'll go to D-Dot.
I just came back. I don't know what happened. I got dropped or something, but I'm African American. I was born here, raised here, but I'm proud of my African ancestors, my African lineage. I go back every 2-3 months. Our last trip was just to Ethiopia. I don't really know, like, you know, what else, but D-Dot could go ahead. I'm just listening, man.
Nah, no disrespect though.
Appreciate that. D-Dot, I need you to introduce yourself with your race, your ethnicity, and where you're from, and then you can
Black. My name D-Dot. I'm Black. I'm from America, whatever. But like,
what part of America you from, bro?
I'm from New York, bro, but my family from the South.
Okay, no doubt. Go ahead.
You don't think like this is the reason why I keep going? Like when you post pictures like this and stuff, everybody gonna keep arguing. You don't think so? Be honest.
Yeah, let them come, bro. I really don't care.
Well, you don't want that, bro. We just nobody.
I want all that smoke. I want all. Again, bro. I really look. Listen, I'm not here to talk down. Look, you see Tariq Nasheed. That's who I'm here for. That's who can get all the smoke and all his little FBA followers. Then I give a fuck about Donald Trump. Give a fuck about his current administration. Give a fuck about anybody that voted for him or any of this bullshit. So I give a fuck about who's offended about this picture. Now, I'm not talking to Black Americans in general. I'm not talking to African Americans. I'm not talking to all white America, almost all white America, but not all white. Not all white Americans are going to see this and be like, oh, no, you put Donald Trump on there. Half of them don't give a fuck about Donald Trump, too. Half of Black America give a fuck about Tariq Nasheed as well. So, again, I don't care who wants to come up here and are obsessed with defending these two individuals, right? So yeah, I catch all that smoke, D-Dot. Don't worry about us, bro. We over here 10 toes down.
Now I understand, bro, but you know, No, they feel like they're not African. You know, we ain't been in Africa in a long time, so we don't know nothing about Africa.
Put your head in a book. Put your head in a book. Start researching
Just
if you
go
care
there, bro.
enough. If you
I don't
care
I
really
just
enough,
care.
told you,
you
I
know.
just came back from there
I
Yeah,
don't really
yeah.
a
care
week
enough,
ago.
but it's no issue. I feel like
Well, that's the issue. You don't care, so we don't care about what you don't care about. Like, how you gonna tell us about you're generalizing all Black Americans because not all Black Americans think like you, bro. If you don't care, that's your problem, right?
Nah, it's
But
not
we
like no
care.
beef with y'all. It's no beef. I don't got no issue
Well,
with y'all.
I hear you, D Dot. I hear you. But when we're trying to uplift each other, if we're trying to really, get it out the mud and like literally try to help each other, we have
what's
to
your
appreciate.
ethnicity?
We have to appreciate each other.
What's your ethnicity?
What do you think? What do you think I am?
I don't know. I'm asking. I'm not. I don't know.
I hear you. All right, Eritrean and Mexican. D Dot. I'm your worst. Not your worst. I'm FBA's worst nightmare.
Well, why you going down? You hate FBAs, huh? Why you hate them?
Bruh, I don't have to. Bro, if you don't already know.
Nah, that's fucked up.
If you don't already know, D Dot, you go. Like I said, go research them, man. Go find out yourself because I'm not the best person to get that information from. I already have my experiences with them, so just jump on my lives and you'll see. But again, like I really, this is not about punching down on Black Americans or African Americans or anyone at that matter. I'm sticking to the leaders or the bosses of those movements, right? Like the leader, the president of this United States, and the pimp Tariq Nasheed, the not the leader but the owner of FBA. So that's a brand. That's not.
You said it right here.
That's not a lineage.
But
that's
you know
not a
what's crazy,
lineage.
though? Trump never really had a problem with Black Americans. I realize that.
Here we go.
Now he never really did.
What happened?
His
Trump never
discrimination
really had a
was
problem with Black Americans. And
Hold
and didn't he try to save Nigeria? I'm hearing.
Try to save Nigeria. He literally bombed Nigeria. Stop it, D Dot.
I'm talking about like for the Christians. Then he wasn't they killing
Bro,
Christians?
just please, D Dot.
Peacemaker go get off his mic, man. You better chill.
Man,
just no.
Go ahead,
Just
Faye.
one thing though. Just one thing. If he actually cared about Nigerian Christians, he'd be giving refugee visas like the same way he does for South Africans. But he doesn't. He doesn't go.
They asked for his help, so he did what he had to do.
No, if he actually cared, you know how the YT South Africans got like refugee status, like the refugees in America right now because they're being persecuted. If he cared the same way about the South Africans, he'd give the Nigerians visas too, refugees.
Wait, so can I ask you a question? Like, no disrespect, you think Nigeria is gonna attack back or no?
Attack back? Attack who?
Bro, you gotta read more about that situation, bro. The Nigerian government cooperated with Donald Trump on that.
That's what I said. That's what I'm saying. They asked for help.
He wasn't do it either way. Even if they said no.
We did not ask for no help.
Your government did, though. Your government.
That's what I'm talking about. Peacemaker, and I don't ask Donald Trump for help. You know that. I don't know what you mean by my government. I'm talking about my government.
They didn't ask him for help.
You just stole our oil tanker of 2 million barrels of crude oil. And you helping us? 2 million barrels of crude oil off Venezuelan coast. They ask you what you gonna do with it. You say you're gonna keep it. That's how you're helping us? Come on, man.
Oh no, I didn't say that.
Yeah, but you know about that, right?
So that means your government don't care about that either.
I said
No, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the guy on top of you. Did you know about the oil tankers taken off of Venezuela that carry Nigerian oil, 2 million barrels?
Bro, the only thing D-Dot is watching right now, he's watching Donald Trump.
Yeah, because we don't have the weapons.
He just listens to Donald Trump's tweets online, social media. That's how he gets his news.
So why y'all sound mad with me? Ain't
nobody mad with you.
You acting hella dense, like you don't know what's up. You're like, oh, didn't you? Like the way that you assume, or the way that you what's the word I'm looking for? Insinuate about countries that you know nothing about like that's what I'm saying.
I don't got a problem with Trump. Trump ain't got a problem with my people.
Bruh. Okay, these are the words you use. I don't care. I don't have a problem. I don't have issues with y'all. But you see how you're like on the fence. You see how we can't put you in a box. You feel me? Like you all over the fucking place, D-Dot.
I don't have
It's
a
not a
problem with
problem
Trump
until it's
either.
a problem.
Exactly. You don't have
Trump
a
didn't do
problem
nothing
until there
wrong.
is a problem.
Trump didn't do nothing wrong.
I don't have a problem with him either.
I said Trump didn't do nothing wrong either, though.
It's okay. It's all. So it took our 2 million barrels of oil, and you didn't do nothing wrong. That's what. That's how I know. That's how I know. The trouble is not. It's not.
He bringing it to my country, so that make it better for me.
Not your leadership. The trouble.
Whoa, somebody's got a crazy background noise.
Then why y'all don't stop it?
D-Dot, you see how you see D-Dot, I see what you're doing, D-Dot.
All of us even know all of them. California.
Why you don't do something about it? Why y'all don't do nothing about it?
What are you playing? Peace. I gotta mute you. I don't know what's going on over there.
Why y'all don't do something about it?
D-Dot, what do you want us to do about it, D-Dot?
Fight.
What can we do about it?
When he come, fight. When Trump come to our country, y'all fight. Get it on.
How are we supposed to fight Trump when he's throwing air missiles? He's got planes over us. He's not doing the work. The little goon squad is. Anybody that signs up for the army is doing that, right, D-Dot? So what are you realistically asking us how to defend ourselves? Like you just over here like you a proud American, hoorah Trump, all right? And you just talking your shit, all right? So don't come over here with like trying to flex on us about what Donald Trump did and then say you don't care what the results are because it benefits your country. You see how dumb that sounds?
It's not affecting none of my peoples. Whatever he did in Nigeria, that's not affecting my people.
Bruh, Donald Trump's not your peoples. You see?
I'm talking about Black Americans. They ain't affecting.
Nah, we talking about Donald Trump right now. You don't care.
Speak for yourself.
Yeah? I don't care.
Said speak for yourself. You don't know what's going to affect Black American people later on down the road.
It's not going to affect my peoples.
Everything that goes around can come around.
Your peoples are not all Black Americans, is what I want to say. Your peoples are only FBAs, bro. So stick to your people. Give a fuck about you and yours. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I asked him. Yo, are you D-Dot? Are you FBA? And he answered the question.
Yo, bro, don't worry about what I am.
Exactly. That's why I'm gonna boot your bitch ass niggas because we already know. We already clocked you. But it's all good. We'll keep it moving.
Double agent. That's what he is.
See, and that's what they're pro at. They're pro at coming on and being like, oh, I don't want no beef with y'all. I'm here. I'm on, like that's how they come so they can infiltrate and then start. But you can already tell by the line of questioning that they say what their agenda really is. And it's for divide and conquer tactics, right? They're trying to divide the Black diaspora, the African diaspora. They're trying to divide and conquer that shit. So it's not going to work on this channel, at least. What's up, Galaxy? Introduce yourself, and then you already know the deal. You were just up here, right?
Yeah, okay, so I'm from the Caribbean. I'm African American proudly, and I actually came up here to address D-Dot, but he fled as usual, as you know. I think it's crazy that when people like him come up on panels and say, "Oh, I'm not worried about Donald Trump. He don't got no beef with my people, and this is my country." Honey, this is not your country. And since y'all are so gung ho about getting black immigrants out, what do you guys think is gonna happen if they remove all black immigrants from this country? Like, do you think you'll be safe here? They will build that wall and make you guys slaves again. Okay, and I'm about tired of these stupid people.
I wouldn't go that far and say that, but we definitely lose voting power. I'll say that much because when a Nigerian comes over here and gains citizenship, when a Nigerian comes over here and gains citizenship and they go apply for a job, they have to mark Black or African American under the race box.
You
And you
don't have
know,
to mark Black or African American. You
Yeah, no one's
choose.
putting a gun to their head and telling them what to mark. Everybody gets to mark. They self-identify, so they can put other. They can literally just put white or Native American. Like no one's policing anybody what to mark on a box.
Or on any application that gives you the option to choose if you're Black or if you're African American. These applications, they either have Black only or African American only on them. So all these people that come on here and they make up all these stories about how they get options on these applications and they could choose Black or African American, I'm telling you that they're lying. Like, I've worked for
Yeah,
government
Black. That's a
agencies.
misconception. That's definitely a misconception.
Yeah.
Galaxy, there's something up with your mic. I don't know if you're using a Bluetooth or something, but you sound muffled, sister. But yeah,
I mean,
they
you could put other, but
Can y'all hear me better?
Jay Black, they can put whatever they want. Jay Black, they can literally put white, and we wouldn't know the difference, right? But for FBAs, they constantly use that point that when and don't get me wrong, right? Some people already see themselves as Black Americans or even African American. Remember that other guy that was up here? He's like, no, you're not American. You're African. Your parents are from Africa. You're an anchor baby, right? So even the children of those African parents that check the Black or African American box, FBAs think that they shouldn't be marking those boxes. That those boxes only belong to them because they want those resources that the government's going to dish out. The reason why they're really doing this is because they really think they're going to get, and I'm not against Black people getting reparations, but the reason why the FBAs are doing it is to isolate themselves from all other Black people so they can go like, hey, massa, we the house Negroes. We've been doing a great job. We've been doing a great job, doing your work, and we deserve that check, so again, they're not going to get it like that. All right, they're not going to get it by punching down to their African ancestors. So I don't but again, that's where that argument or that's where that conversation comes in, where they say that most Africans are coming here and marking that box. And again, I can't say they're not, right? I'm just saying that there's other options and it's self-identifying. So that no one's pointing the gun at your head and telling you they don't have to. They're not forced to pick those boxes. But who's to say that those boxes don't pertain to them? If Barack Obama was elected as an African American president and his parents coming from Kenya and his mom is white tea, why can't any African mark the African American box? Or any immigrant. Now, with what's happened with Somalia, Somalis and all that, and this is what they're trying to use to target and be like, look, as soon as we give them opportunities here, they end up just scamming us and blah, blah, blah. But again, you guys are not looking at the overall picture. White people have been scamming y'all. White people get the biggest tax breaks, biggest tax this, tax that, write-offs, all that shit. They use the system to keep their neck on Black people and for them to always rise up. So it's kind of contradictory for them to look down on any African doing any type of scamming in my radar. But here, I'm rambling again. All right. I'm sorry. Galaxy, did you want to finish your point? I'm sorry, I cut you off.
I kind of lost track of what I was saying, but it's okay. We'll come back around.
No. Well, we got D Dot here. You wanted to say something to D Dot? Hold on. You wanted to say something to D Dot, right? Galaxy.
Yo, it's popping, gang. What you want to say, Muddy?
Galaxy, did you have a question for D Dot? He's over here.
You had a question for me.
Yeah, but I don't know who's Muddy. I don't know if he thinks he's talking to one of his little closet boyfriends.
I know. We ain't your fam, gang. We ain't your people. So don't talk to us like you in the borough right now. Gang.
You crazy, buddy.
Get out of here with all that. All right, Gather. You want to say something, Gather? I don't know. She forgot. Gather.
I live in New York. I'm not gonna waste my energy. I mean, look at the kind of conversations he's having right now. Obviously, he doesn't have the intellectual capacity to have a conversation with me, so I'm not gonna waste my time.
No, I'm gonna talk. I want to talk to you. Talk. Why she not
She
talking?
already said. She already said her piece. D Dot. I only brought you up because she wanted to say something to her.
No,
So I'm
wait,
gonna
but
put you
I ain't
back
gonna
down.
lie, bro.
Peace, my brother. Peace, my burrow brother. What's up, fam? What's up, gang, gang? Stop it, bro. Stop that idiot ass talk. All right, go ahead, Gather.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that the idea of like completely renaming Black Americans as FBA is ridiculous because there's just way too much history, that's under the African American name. And not only that, but I'm not too far from the Gullah Geechee corridor, and here in Savannah and other places, you have churches. Some of the first churches in America that were built by Black people have the word African in it. So African American, like it all belongs to us, and I ain't giving it up. So this idea that I'm gonna trade that in for a 3-letter word or FBA is just ridiculous, and most Black American people ain't go for it.
That's big facts. That's big facts, OG. Exactly. Yeah, and again, we don't have a problem with if you want a new ethnicity, if you want to be a Salon or if you want to be ADOS, whatever you want to be, just do it, and just don't punch down on the people that are still using their identity. If they still want African identity, don't punch down on those people. Don't think that those people are like your enemies because they don't want to call themselves something that you created, right? I always ask FBAs to hurry the fuck up and delineate already. You can't be tiptoeing around these identities like, oh, well, we're that too. Oh, we're African Americans and we're Black Americans. It's all the same thing. No, bitch, you want to delineate from a reason, right? So you want to delineate so you can call yourself just FBA. So this is why I'm very careful with Black Americans that come up on here, and because I can't tell if they're FBAs or not. You can tell by their line of questioning. You can tell by their interrogation tactics. They act like they work for Homeland Security or ICE when they ask you where you're from. So they can start talking down to you just based off if you're American or not. So you got to be really careful right now. I see FBAs like white nationalists and blackface. That's how I view them.
You too.
Sister Galaxy, your
FBA
mic's
people,
really muffled, my sister.
they having an identity crisis because, like I said, if you scroll through some of these lives, you'll have some people saying that they're native or indigenous to America. Then you have some people, so it's a bunch. Like, and don't get me wrong, claim what you want to claim, but at the end of the day, like now y'all still in another identity by saying that y'all native or indigenous to America. It's kind of disrespectful to the Native Americans, in my eyes.
Can y'all hear me better now?
Yeah, big facts. Yes, Galaxy. Thank God. Yes. Go ahead,
Yeah.
sister.
Yeah. So, as I was saying, these people, they tell us, go home and do all this stuff, but where is their home? So after we go home, right? After they send the people who are not quote unquote indigenous to America home, right? Where do they go? Because at the end of the day, they're still not indigenous. So where would they go? They don't even have a place to go, and they get on here and try to chase everybody away. I don't understand the logic in any of this. I know right now people like Malcolm X and their grandmothers are rolling in their graves out of embarrassment for the kind of behaviors that they're displaying right now because it's very repugnant and it's also very remedial for these people to think that like for first of all, a lot of them prior to yesterday, a lot of them was saying that DNA test is not real and whatnot. But there's this other content creator. His name is I think Gullah Maroon or something like that. A young guy came on his panel a few days ago, I want to say like 2 days ago, and he kept saying that he was a Choctaw freedman. Now, at first, we didn't believe him, so we, of course, we gave him a run for his money, and he didn't know how to explain the proof of what he had. So, this guy named Pseudo, he went up and dug up research on the young man. He was like in his early 20s, and we came to find out that he was, in fact, a Choctaw, but he was not indigenous. Pseudo found all his ancestral documents, and he was in fact a Choctaw, but he was not indigenous. And we also found documentation where his grandmother spoke on being bought by a white man to bear children, and all of this is true. So yes, some of them are they do have Indian DNA, but none of them are indigenous, and none of them want to accept the fact for what it is. Now, mind you, after Pseudo did this research on this young man and gave him all the, because Pseudo did give him the information about his family so he can have it for himself. I shit you not, I went to sleep and I woke up, and like 4 hours later, I got on TikTok and all the FBAs were saying that they took their DNA and they have their DNA results and they're not going to show it to us. Within a matter of 4 hours, these people all had DNA tests after 4 months of them saying that DNA testing is fake. Make it make sense. Please, somebody help me.
The Galaxy, did they do it so they could did they do it so Pseudo could find their native roots through the test, or why did they jump on doing it?
No, what happened was, okay, the young man that came into the panel, he never did a DNA test, but he came into the panel antagonizing us and telling us that he was a descendant of Choctaw Indians, which he was right. But in the moment, we didn't know because, like I told you, all these FBAs listen to panels and choose what Indian they want to be for the day, and then they come tell us, oh yeah, well I'm this and I'm that.
Right.
But what made Pseudo go look up the young man's ancestry is the young man said, my family were Choctaw freedmen. So that's the differentiation. A lot of these people are saying they're indigenous when they are only of Indian descent because they were freedmen, because they sought sanctuary. I mean, they sought how do you say, protection on the Indian
Refuge.
reserves. So the
Yeah.
young man, he was not
Right.
lying about being Choctaw.
That's
He
what I
just did
was.
not have to present himself.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to
Right.
say. Like, and I think in the 18th or 19th century, a lot of like escaped African slaves, they went to go hide amongst the Native Americans, and that's when when people start interracial mixing. You know what I mean? So it
Yeah,
could
I
be
hear you.
possible. What you saying could be
Jay Black,
possible.
hold on. I hold on, brother. I do want to say, Galaxy, I got all that, right? I got what you were saying, and I got how you guys even found out that it's deep. I like my two questions though is what did that kid say after you guys found out all that about his lineage? Did he thank you, or was he kind of
Man, okay,
resentful?
I'm glad you asked me this because your question just gave me goosebumps. So after Pseudo showed him all his because Pseudo is very intelligent. He was able to pull actual document with this young man's family information on it. But after Pseudo gave him all the information, he's like, man, I'm so embarrassed. I can't believe I was riding with these FBAs and blah blah blah. And he apologized to all us and everything. I'm telling you, man. Like, some people are willing to find out the truth about themselves. Some people just want to march in the darkness for the rest of their lives. But that young man was very grateful to us for what Pseudo was able to find for him. And as a matter of fact, he followed all of us. So I will go into my followers list and find his name, because he said he's no longer coming up on nobody else's panels as a pretendian or an FBA because he has the facts for himself now for sure. But
Oh,
see,
we're
most
definitely
of these other ones are cowards, so they don't want to do stuff. They don't want to face the fact. They don't want to do DNA tests. But this young
yeah.
man is proud, and I love
Yeah.
that for him.
Right. So we definitely need him. We definitely need him for testimony. That's a testimony of how he was able
I'm gonna
to
look at his
find
name
and
as
realize.
soon as I get
So
back.
here's my second question, though, Galaxy. My second question is: when you said you fell asleep and you woke up and you saw like 4 different FBAs trying to get their DNA tests. Where is that coming from, and why are they seeking DNA tests?
No, actually, after we had this whole debacle with the young man and showing him his documents and stuff, I fell asleep. I woke up like 4 hours later, and when I got up and got on TikTok and started scrolling, there were FBA panels everywhere, and all the FBAs were saying, "I did my DNA test. I know who I am. My DNA test says that I'm indigenous, but none of them wanted to present their DNA testing on these panels, though. These people are psychotic
Right.
liars. How the fuck do all of you get DNA tests within a matter of 4 hours when for 4 months all y'all been saying that DNA tests are fake and unreal? Help me understand, because I
All they've
only
been
fell
talking
asleep
about
for 4 hours. I
genealogy,
didn't see anything.
genealogy.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah,
No, I hear
genealogy can
you.
only
Okay,
do
okay,
but so
okay.
much. That's what the DNA test is for.
Right, right. I think it's it's good to do both, but I mean they're look, look, I have a panel too where we talk about genetics and eugenics, right? And how, it's a big topic right now, right? And I got two brothers that are very educational about it. So I'm learning new stuff about it. But yeah, you literally have FBAs that, it says that they're West African, but they deny it, and claim that it's all a hoax, it's all a lie, and that it's the white man that is telling them that they're African because they want them to go back to Africa. And so, anyways, you got all this stuff, right? And we do try to unpack that. But anyways, let's have an open panel, guys. Let's be respectful. I don't think Faye has said anything or gather. If you guys want to open up the panel, and then I have to answer this phone call real quick. Hey, Trouble, come on up, girl. Come on up, Trouble. I see you down there. And I don't know who I left in charge. Oh, here. Let me see. Faye, are you a mod? Yeah, you're a mod.
Yeah,
Okay.
mod.
All right. Just watch out. Watch out for those FBAs. Okay. All
Yeah.
right. Open panel. I'll be right back, guys.
Hey, Trouble Girl. Hey,
Hi.
Granny. How you
Well,
doing?
hello.
Another thing I wanted to tell y'all is the other night, I think it was maybe like 2 nights ago, I was in Fendi's live, and when I got out his live, this FBA popped up right after Fendi's live, and he was saying a lot of horrible stuff about the people from the diaspora, and then he started saying, yeah, and I'm spiritual, Ashe, and I'm like, Ashe, what you mean?
Well,
These
I
people
I have
are
some
fucking
I have a story
crazy.
about that as well. Yeah, I was in a live with this pretendian lady, and she kept on saying Ashe, 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 and then had the nerve to tell me that Ashe has nothing to do with Africa. It's in the Bible, apparently.
Wow, these people are crazy. They're walking around here rocking inks and stuff. I'm very confused.
They're
And then
yoked
one of
completely.
them told me an unk came from they said the first place one of them told me the first place the unk was found was in the girl, listen. Listen. I might need to go buy a bottle of alcohol and I don't even drink.
Oh.
I'm starting to think that some of these people are just being paid to troll because that's the only way it can make any sense.
I don't think so. I'm starting to realize like mental illness is a serious problem in this country, and it's a bigger problem than we even realize it is. Like there's a lot of crazy fucking people walking around this place, man.
Yeah.
Functional crazy people, like people who are like twisted in the brain, but they're still functionable enough to get up and go to work and pay bills and grocery shop. Like, but they're fucking crazy, literally.
Yeah. It's just that, and I think the reason why we're seeing that more and more, because the internet has basically democratized access, which means that anybody with a computer or a cell phone and internet access can automatically gain access to the whole world, and it doesn't filter for intelligence and
Right.
knowledge. People can just say anything, and we just have to. That's the ramifications of it
That-
being
You know,
open access to everybody.
You know what I always say about TikTok? TikTok is like a big school that has no separation between from the regular people and the remedial people. Everybody in the same
Exactly.
class.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Because like I'll be scrolling through on my FYP, and I'll see a couple of videos where it's just like really good, intelligent stuff, and then it's like you go to the next video, and it's like a
It's
pretending
like, holy
video.
shit,
It
what
just
the
puts it
hell
all
just
together.
happened? Bye.
It's very bipolar.
really want to know what these people think Trump is going to fix. Nobody cares about you kissing anyone's ass. I really want to know what you think this individual can fix. Like what do you think he can repair? He's chasing an oil tanker in the Atlantic. He's airstriking a country for no reason. What do you think he can fix? You're a morally bankrupt person. You're a sick individual. You're a sick-minded person. You lack humanity. I don't care if you're a troll. I don't know what you're yapping about. You're sick.
And they're ignoring everything we're discovering right now about him in the files. Ironically, it's when I read some of the stuff, I felt sick, like to my stomach. And these people saying, "Yeah, he's gonna help us." Da, da, da. I'm sorry.
See, but y'all gotta understand that, like, it's certain things that are like that have become so common in this country that it's become the norm to just sweep it under the rug and act like it never happened. So, you know, like especially in regards to sex crimes, you know, it didn't start with Donald Trump. It started in slavery, and then it trickled down. During slavery, it led to bucking, and then from the bucking, freedom came, and then after the freedom, the abuse that was perpetuated on people prior to that, they started trickling it down into their very own homes and households and onto their wives and kids. So now it's like a ripple effect.
Yeah, it's too much. And honestly, well, to be fair, you can see how they treat figures in their community that have had like a crime record for this kind of stuff. They don't care. They don't care that the man that's currently the dog in the picture right now, he was out here like chasing women from like foreign countries, vulnerable women from foreign countries. It's disgusting. They have no moral standards. Like I wouldn't be surprised if they start like petitioning for what's his face to be let free. Diddy. Horrible. I'm not surprised. I'm probably gonna start seeing it now. No morals.
Yeah, I guess that's just what they don't realize, that, you know, the Western world, you know, with America leading it, is just basically a capitalistic, neoliberal regime. And the bottom line is profit above everything else. And so morality and the right things to do just don't factor into it. And to think that they're on the same team, I mean, we saw what happened with the farmers in China with the soybeans, you know, and now they out
I
of
don't
gas.
get
So
it. Like, do they not like know geopolitics? Like, why are you guys antagonizing China of all places? We need them. We need their plastics, all their materials. I don't get it.
yeah, the reason why I believe that they're antagonizing China, and I think I heard, what his name, Jeremy something. I think he used to be. Well, anyways, I just simply believe that the Western world doesn't want anybody or any other country that's not them to have a bigger economy than them. Because if that
Wow.
happens, then that diminishes their power. So they have to keep any and everybody else underneath. And then the funny thing is about the FBA, it's like the same tactics that they practice on our communities when you look at Black Wall Street in Tulsa is the same thing that they did to other people's countries. So the same thing, they do it to us, and then they go ahead and do it to everybody else. And I'm like, and so we all have the same, you know, enemy in common. So this
Yeah.
idea that you
Also,
think you can align with these people is preposterous.
I'd like to also mention, because I know a lot of like FBAs and stuff, like they're remedial, so they don't read, and the ones who do know how to read, they don't comprehend. So I'd like to point this out for those who don't know. And this is my personal opinion, but this is my opinion based on facts that I've read and researched. Nigeria is being targeted because Nigeria has one of the largest marketing hubs for young people in the world that's not regulated by the government. So young people are waking up and going to the markets every day and selling stuff and getting fucking rich. Okay? Young people in their early 20s are doing stuff like this. And the government wants to regulate how young black people make money, so they're attacking Nigeria. But nobody's talking about this. Everybody is just talking
Wow.
about, oh, Nigerians are scammers and blah, blah, blah. Let's talk about how the young people are taking over the market in Nigeria. So now the whole of Nigeria is being targeted as a result of it. It's not, these people just don't want to see black wealth. That's all it is. But we have stupid Americans here that's helping condone the impoverishment of their own people, and that's crazy to me. And that's why a lot of them will stay in this country and be poor the same way forever, and their generations, the generations that follow them, will never break from the curse because of their closed mindedness. Simple as that.
You are that's
Exactly.
so true. That is so true. I mean, they don't even want to, these FBA guys, why don't you politely inform them that Africa isn't this crap town when nothing happens, that there are even YT businessmen who come here and make billions in dollars. We would rather have like black Americans make that money because they have the connection to us. They don't want to hear. They don't want to know. They don't want to hear any of it. And it's sad.
Yeah, because I
They're
remember
missing out.
reading. Yeah, 'cause I remember reading an article, I believe it was a few months ago, where they talked about the demographic changes, to come in the future, like around 2045, 2050. And they showed where Africa, in particular, like Nigeria, is going to have like the biggest birth rates. And then when I read that, I was like, yeah, it's only a matter of time before the West tries to intervene, quote unquote. And then I saw where the Western birth rates were declining and how they went from like 36%, I think around 1971, and now they're down to about, I think, 8% or either 5%, and how that's sending alarm bells. And that's why you hear Elon Musk talking about, oh, we need more people having children. We need more people having children, but we know who they want to have more children. And I'm like, oh, because of, you see Nigeria having this huge birth rate in the future, or having the youngest population, I think, or the biggest population with young people under the age of 35. That's going to be a
Fact.
problem for them. And you're going to see them start to target Nigeria. And I thought, well, maybe we just give it a couple of years and then they'll start. But it seems like, no, they're moving up their program now. They're doing it right now to try to affect them.
I think that after all is said and done with all this commotion that's been going on between the Western and Eastern world, I think that when it's all said and done, that Africa is gonna end back up on top, and these FBAs are gonna be crying trying to get back home. And I hope Africa will tell them, no, stay all fuck asses over.
Yeah, because we see it now, with BRICS,
Yeah,
they're
we see
moving
how
away from dollar hegemony, and, you know,
exactly, exactly. And all these people bragging about, oh, how we take y'all resources and stuff. That's not gonna be happening much longer. A lot of these African leaders are saying, y'all gotta get the fuck up out of here. And I agree with them 100% wholeheartedly. Get the fuck out.
and then the U.S. is in debt, and it's like they don't. I'm like they're so stupid that they haven't read the history of previous Western empires, like the UK, how they went into debt during the First and Second World Wars, and that's the reason why America came into prominence. Because after World War II, everything was practically destroyed, and so Britain had to come with hat in hand, borrowing money from the UK, from the U.S. to prop them up. And I'm like, they don't understand. Hey, that's America is already in debt to its eyeballs, and there's only about
Yeah,
so
but a
much it
lot of
could
these
do to
people
maintain
don't
its empire.
But a lot of people don't even really understand the basics of economics. And that's like one of the reasons that I feel like, sometimes some of these panel like I appreciate the panels, especially the ones where like we do get like FBAs and pretendians that do seem like they have some kind of level of intellectuality, because most of them don't. But I think that it's necessary for conversations to be had so we can understand, especially because of the main fact that a lot of people don't read, and a lot of people who do read, they don't know what the hell they're reading. It's like gibberish to them. But I
Yeah,
think it's intentional also that Black people don't understand economics in this country as well. I think the government and the education system plotted that intentionally, and that's why we have so many idiots running around on TikTok saying, "Oh yeah, we took your resources," and they're saying it proudly. Like, bro, do you realize that your ancestors' blood, sweat, and tears went into the stealing of these? Like, are you people? But anyway, I digress.
We were the first resources they stole.
Exactly.
And I'm like, and we're not really benefiting from it because we're all the way at the bottom. The people at the top, they benefit from those resources. They own those resources, not us.
Yep. And this is kind of off topic, but I would just like to show y'all how much in the dark a lot of these people are. Let's talk about the Starbucks logo for a minute. How many of y'all realize that that Starbucks logo is Mami Wata? Because I would bet none of these FBAs realize that. How many of y'all realize that on this panel? You can be honest. I'm not going to judge you. But that
Oh,
Starbucks logo was stolen. And it's being used to inoculate people to spend money on shitty coffee and shitty fucking food. That goes to show you how much in the dark these black Americans are. Well,
yeah, I
get the
didn't
fuck
know.
out, girl. You talking about sweeter girl? You bitter as fuck. Change your name and goodbye, ho.
I'm out. I'm sick of listening to y'all, but y'all steady up here. Steady up here. I think sorry, I'm just back right now. Did you guys scare trouble away? Where's trouble? Yeah, we need to find people, like-minded people. Like, I appreciate you, Gather. I gave you a follow, okay, Gather? And you too, Jay Black. And Galaxy too. I think I've met you before, Galaxy. I don't know why I wasn't following you. Oh, this is my second account, actually. This is my second account. I got banned.
Yeah, because we're friends on your other account.
Yeah. It'll be back. It'll be back. I'm temporarily banned. But yeah, we need to have, like, I think I heard a little bit what you were saying about how, you do try to talk to the FBAs that have some intellect, because, like, Tariq Nasheed is trying to call this the Renaissance. Like, they really do believe this is what that this is the new identity for them, and so a lot of them don't know what they're subscribing to. So there is still a chance for us to educate them even about this identity, because again, it's really a brand. It's not a lineage. And the owner of that brand is the one that is going to be profiting off of all this hard work for upliftment. Now, the FBAs that want to spread this work, right? Like Tariq Nasheed says, you guys need to go out there and put in the work like I have. Go tell them about FBA. Go educate people about FBA. But when he says put in the work, like that's street talk for, like, go get your lick on these panels. Go inform them in the most obscene way. And he shows the example of how to treat any immigrant, especially the people that come up on his panel, and you see how he treats them. You see the menstrual show that he carries on while he tries to cosplay Africans. You hear him with the African accent talking you niggas and all this shit, right? Like, it's hilarious. It's hilarious, but it's sad. It's hilarious, but it's sad, and I think us Africans get caught up in it because we have our own diaspora wars, and he might be talking to a Nigerian brother, and there might be an East African that don't like Nigerians, and he's laughing his ass off about what Tariq Nasheed said about this Nigerian. And yeah, Tariq Nasheed was on, he had some good points and blah, blah. So we also fall for this bullshit. But again, at the end of the day, it's critical for us to come together and find some kind of commonality where we can talk what is it called, like, denounce this kind of behavior, and we have a ban Tariq Nasheed from social media. We got to put him on timeout. We got to petition for that.
Well, either that or we can just capitalize on what they're doing. Because I'm about to start selling me some FBA t-shirts. They want to be dumb. I want to be rich. Let's do it.
So yeah, and so I think it's good for them to denounce that kind of behavior, because we can look. They can talk about Africans all they want, and nothing's been done. There's no repercussions on talking on your own people.
There's no canceling out. Kind of like the small hat people, right? You can't say nothing about the small hat people without being canceled and excommunicated. So we need to have that kind of same. We need to have that kind of same reaction to this dehumanization and punching down on African people, African as a community, African globally. We got to be as strong as Israel. You can't say nothing about Israel or you get canceled
Right.
too, right? So we got to be on that same kind of energy.
Yes, I agree.
And that's what I wonder, like, do you think that gives them a bit of legitimacy because they feel like, well, hey, there's diaspora wars between, you know, 'cause we've seen them between Haitians and Bahamians, Haitians and Jamaicans, Eastern Africa versus West Africa, South Africa versus Nigerians. And it's like, well, hey, they're having, you know, they're having their diaspora wars. So if they get pulled into it, then they can say, well, hey, we're just Black Americans versus this and versus that.
Right.
So
Yes, Gather. Yes. Yeah, so again, like you were saying, not all Black Americans are the same. You got city Black American, you got country Black American, you got the West, the East Coast, West Coast, you got Chi-Town, so there's so much, I don't want to call it beef, right? But there's so much, there's their own groups of people. Think about the states as all different independent colonies, right? Of certain, even though America wants to believe that they're all one, there's a lot of separation and division amongst Americans. I mean, look at the Democratic and Republican Party, right? So it's for them to be delusional enough to think that America is one. I know that's how they portray it and that's how they want to present to the rest of the world, but we already know that there's infighting in America to begin with. So I think that's where we got to attack it. We gotta attack it like not like they're attacking us, because that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to do the divide and conquer. So they're like literally doing the carving of Africa, kind of like the Berlin Conference already did, right? So that's what FBAs or any people against immigration these are their talking points, and they double down on that, knowing how destabilized these countries are because of what America or white imperialism has done in those countries. So we just got to flip it back. So in the sense that America is divided too, and we can pick apart how they're, I don't want to do that, but it has to be done just to show them how not united they are.
Exactly. I want to point out that when I first caught wind of this whole FBA war a few months ago and started seeing it a lot in my TikTok, a lot of like diaspora people would be in the comments saying, "Hey, these FBAs have no behavior. Like, like why do they ask to come up on the panel and then they come up threatening and trying to cuss and fight and do all that stuff?" And I'm not gonna lie, you're right about carving it out from the inside. Because what I do notice now, FBAs, yes, they're still online trying to bully people, but when they have their panels now they try to have some decorum about it. So maybe certain things are necessary to initiate change, because I see a lot of them are actually like they're trying to have some decorum about themselves. They're actually trying to go and do some research, even though some of them research and they come back and give us the response from the AI instead of a response with a legitimate source. But I can say that I have seen them trying. I still detest them and their behaviors, and until they get themselves together, I will feel the same way.
Yeah,
and I have
I
noticed
don't
with
know what happened.
some.
Go ahead, Gather. Go ahead.
Okay, I have noticed, you know, because I've been kind of observing them for
For
about a
involved.
year, and I've
I'm
noticed with some
sorry.
of the FBA on
Sorry, you're
what was
muted,
that, on
Galaxy.
TikTok
I didn't mute.
I'm
on
sorry. I'm gonna
mute
TikTok
you.
and
drop
on
I
down.
didn't mute you, by the way.
No, you're good. I know. I just got a call come in, so I'm gonna drop down and I'll be right back to you
All
guys
right,
in
sounds
about
good.
5 minutes.
Sounds good, sister.
Yeah, I was going
Go.
to say what
Go
some of
ahead.
some of the FBA on YouTube and on TikTok, because I've been observing them for nearly a year, and I realized that at some point it does come out that, in particular with the FBA women, that they have had previous relationships with either African or Caribbean men, and some of those relationships might have been marriage, but that might have ended in divorce, or it could have been like a baby mama, baby daddy situation. So there seems to be this, I guess you could call. There's no, it's got like a scorned lover sort of energy that powers their FBA-ness with some of them. And I was like, oh, okay. 'Cause I was like, you know, like this hate got to come from somewhere. Like, you know, like if I'm just a person, I don't know anybody, you know, African or Caribbean, or I just, you know, encountered them maybe professionally or whatever, I'm not going to have that much hate stored up to, you know, run a hate campaign against these people 24/7, 365. And then once you look into some of their backgrounds, it comes up in lives or whatever like that, that these people got a Jamaican baby daddy or a Nigerian baby daddy, then it just didn't work out, and now they got to raise the kid by themselves. So I'm like, so that's where that energy is coming
Oh
from.
my
That's
God.
powering
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, bro, you hit the nail in the head. And I want to just say this about that, because we had this lady up here yesterday on Uncle Moose's channel. And it was so funny how she got up. She started crying too about all this, but she was talking about how she's Black American, but she doesn't really consider herself FBA. And when she said that, she also followed that up by saying, but my daughter, she's FBA. And so that already like caught my eye a little bit. I didn't know where she was going to go with the story, but she started talking about how her daughter was getting bullied by the same Nigerians that she grew up with, and how her daughter always was supported by the Nigerians, and all of a sudden something happened where now she's a FBA. And but you know, we had lines of questions for her, because she was jumping all over the place. She also said she was with a Nigerian man or a Ghanaian man she married, and that her relationship ended up falling apart, and all these things. But you know, she came up on the panel to defend the FBA, and was telling Uncle Moose that, oh, why aren't we listening to him? Why don't we understand Black American grievances, and so on and so forth, you know? And my brother that was just up here called an FBA a dog, and she was like, how dare you call us animals? Like, she had just had these crazy reactions, and then she's okay. So she ended up building her story, and we were kind of laughing, because like a lot of this stuff, a lot of it, you know, it could be true. It could be true that they do have these negative experiences with African people, you know, whether a relationship or a business contractual relationship, or, you know, whatever, you know, and they have these fallouts, right? That's one thing. The whole other thing are, a lot of these people are lying. They are creating these scenarios that they've heard from other, like you were saying before, Gather, a lot of them haven't even met an African or to tell you the truth, right? But they listen to these scenarios online, and then they gravitate and say, hey, well, I know him too. Or they say they know him through this app. So that's not a valid knowing someone, you know? A lot of these people that you find yourself in these chats with are the same attention that you crave for is with beef with Africans. So the only experience that you're going to have with Africans is a negative one, especially if you're spewing that bullshit. But here, I will say this. Sorry, I'm rambling too. But it was just funny that you said that, because that's exactly what I hear, and I can almost always tell when they're lying, because they all have the same talking points. They all have the same scenario. They all have the same manual about how to have sympathy for what they went through, but then they double down on that sympathy and say that's why they treat Africans the way they do, because of their experiences. Okay, so that's where you got to catch them. But I do want to say something. You know, that are part of their tribes, and there's nothing wrong with being a part of that. It's just when you try to erase that people's history, right? It's when you try to replace yourself with them and not acknowledge them. So that's where, but you have these people that they're so focused, they're hyper focused on their enemy, right? Like, let's just use the FBAs, for example. They're so hyper focused on their enemy that they end up learning more about Africa. They start researching just so they can talk shit, but subconsciously they're actually learning. They're actually knowing the towns in Africa. They're actually knowing about the politics. They're actually, even though they come in with a bad intention, subconsciously or unconsciously, I should say, they're learning about their ancestors, right? So that's that's the give and take kind of thing where I do see us being more educated, maybe not for good intended reasons, but definitely more educated, you know? And if it has to take them to hate on us to figure out the truth, kind of like what Galaxy was saying about how that brother ended up finding about his roots, you know, and FBA, he thought he was an FBA or he thought he was an American Indian, and they found out all this information about him, and then he came to realize that it wasn't everything that he had claimed it to be. So I feel like all this is, even though it looks really bad, I feel like there's some good out of this. Like we were forced to handle this shit. We were forced to face this shit eventually, you know? So anyway, sorry for rambling. Go ahead, Faye. Welcome back.
Thank you. Sorry, I was cooking, but I just want to say something. There is a guy who I've encountered on a lot of these, well, like FBA versus diaspora people lives. He was cussing down Africans, especially Nigerians and Somalis, but he had all this like niche lore about various African tribes. These people love us, really. They pretend to hate us, but they really love us. Plus, it's not just the women, FBA women, that like tether men. These FBA men love tether women. There is a guy, multiple guys actually. When I've been in these lives, the same uncles that were like cussing Africans down are staring at my profile, trying to find pictures of me, like talking to me. Next time they see me in different lives, they want us bad. That's why they love our energy. They want to siphon it off us. And I will just say one thing as well. Sorry, I'm eating as well. But also, look at their leader, Mr. Nasheed. He spent how many years in Latin America, the Caribbean, chasing down women? How many years? There's even rumors that he might have an in-law that is of a Caribbean background. I don't know if that's true, but I know his wife is mixed race. The reason why this movement will flop is because these people cannot leave us alone, especially the men. They love Caribbean women. They even like some African women. They love Ethiopians, for example, Eritreans. So they're gonna mess up for themselves. It's not gonna last.
Girl, you said a mouthful because let me tell you, after I go on these panels every day and I roast these people and I come back to my page, I have so many views from them, and I don't have any pictures of myself on my page, right? But at the very bottom of my
Exactly.
page, at the very beginning of my page, I have a video of me walking away, so all you can see is my ass. And if you go look at the likes, they are liking up that picture. Little do they know I put that video up for them to kiss my ass.
Exactly.
Kiss my ass,
They love
no
us.
BBL, baby. No BBL.
Yeah, Galaxy, that's what I was saying before. I was telling Gather that you left before I could tell you this, but I got it from you. Well, I didn't get it from you. You brought up this thought in my head about how subconsciously or unconsciously they're learning more about Africa with even though they do it with all bad intentions, they have to go research. They have to go find out these towns, these countries in Africa. They have to learn about the people, the politics, just because they want to get their lick and talk shit. But unconsciously, they're really learning more and more about their ancestry, their descendants, right? So that's the good in all this. If you want to see any good in it, you know, that there's a reason why we're faced with dealing with this. And even though it looks like it's all gonna it looks all bad, it's really, there's some good in it, you know. I really do believe that. And then I did want to go ahead, Gather. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I just wanted to say that I think TikTok is like the biggest Pan-African app that there is, you know, in the market. And the reason why I say that, because I've only been on this app for about a year, but like when I've been on YouTube for years, and I don't know if it's because I'm in America, the algorithm just doesn't really show us like African or Caribbean creators like that. But since I've been on TikTok for a year and hearing these conversations, you know, between the FBA and everybody else in the diaspora wars, I've learned more about Africa within the last year than I have had my whole life. It's to the point where I can even distinguish just about accents between, you know, like South Africans and Nigerians, and learning about tribes and this and that and the other just from the back and forth. And I was like, for a person, like, that's why I don't really think it's hate, because like if you hate somebody, you would just leave them alone. It seems to be more of obsession, and like you said, the subconscious idea of like you're really, because I think TikTok is really like the only app where the first time in the world where you have Black people from various groups all around the world on an app together at one time. And I think that's really blowing a lot of people's mind, and they just don't know how to deal with it. So you get the arguments, the fights, and everything else, and I guess you just have to let it happen, let the process play out.
Actually, I think it's beautiful that it's so many black people in one place at the same time. I can't even understand these FBA's animosity towards it. I love this type of energy, man. This is big for us, actually.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, facts. And that's so true. That's so true because I've met so many good people, from all walks of life, but especially, I live in a white predominantly community. So it's, unless I go to the Bay Area and stuff and see old friends from college and stuff, I don't always run into my people, right? And so it is such a good thing to have this, and even like you were saying, Galaxy, I have a lot of FBAs that come up on here and they just say they hear me out and they go, you know what, you're all right, they come on just saying they want me deported and all this, and then by the end of it they go, you know what, you're good, man, we're not coming after you, because at the end of the day we're here to educate each other, and the more that we can understand our own struggles and our own battles, we're really educating each other about how to handle our behavior, especially when coming up on this app, like their temperament and shit like that. Like obviously,
Exactly. I don't mean to cut you off, I'm sorry, but like I was telling you about like the change of decorum over the period of weeks, I think they're now starting to realize, hey man, the white man been saying this about you all these years, and now the whole world is watching you show them exactly what the white man told them. So now they're trying to change, and I love that for them. I love that for them.
Exactly. So I think by the end of this, I mean, it's already the end of the year. I was like, FBA is not going to be a thing. Just wait until Christmas. It's not going to last until Christmas. So I have to bite my words, but I was talking about shit. But no, I think I think it's a good thing. I think even though it looks all bad, I think if we find the what's that saying? If we find the silver lining, if we find the why it's needed and why these spaces are needed for us to even come up, like, this is a constructive conversation that we're having, and we're describing what we've gone through these panels, but we come out of it with something good. We can talk our shit. Our people love to talk shit. We love to roast. We're the best at it. So there's nothing wrong with that either. But it's just, I think we got to think about the youth. We got to think about setting the best example for the people that are going to come into these spaces.
Agreed.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say too. It's like the TikTok made me realize that what black people have in common is that they would spend hours talking shit about each other. That seems to be the one thing we have in common.
Facts.
So it's universal with black people.
Yeah. But I mean, I am from the Caribbean. I don't know if any of you guys picked up on my accent yet, but man, aside from these FBAs, I've always been a lover of black people. I don't give a damn where they came from. You my people, you my family, I fuck with you. Until you show me some kind of crazy energy, and then I have to back the line up and feed you with a long spoon. But I have always been gung-ho about African American people, black people, that's our people. It's always been my goal to want to see them do good and thrive and stuff. This whole FBA war, diaspora war shit, it really messed with me because I had to change how I operate when I go out in public because I don't know who's a FBA and who's not and who's gonna dislike me because I'm from the Caribbean. Like, weird shit, that's not even fair. But I mean, it is what it is. I'm not crying or complaining because it is what it is. But I'm just gonna start dealing with them accordingly. I'm not gonna just deal with black people as black people anymore. Thanks to the FBA, now I have to set boundaries for FBAs. Unfortunately.
Yeah, facts. Faye, did you want to say something? I don't want to cut you off.
No. I was just listening along. That's all.
Okay. When I see you guys off mute, I was like, all right, they want to say something. That's why
No, it was a mistake. I'm just listening. Sorry.
No. I was just gonna say, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah. A lot of the confusion is when we're giving our grievances or when we talk about FBAs, it's not Black Americans, it's not people that identify as African American. Okay, it's not. They want you to think that. They want you to think that we're talking about Black people like that all over, but that's not the case. That's why they're making a big push. So even Black Americans now are like, well, we're not African American, and that's indications that you've heard some FBA talk. That even though I can understand you want a different political identity, that's fine. If you want to be Black American, that's fine. That's great. You're finally recognized with the nationality. Instead of being just a Black, now you have American to back it up with. That's great. Now, the foundational part about it sounds good. It sounds wholesome. It sounds like something you want to get behind, but we're letting you know it's not something you want to subscribe to because so again, they're trying to the reason why FBAs are trying to make it all synonymous. I mean, they talk about delineation, right? So delineation that's why they're delineating from these terms like African American, even Black. I would make a case for even Black American. So because why did you have to add the foundational aspect to it? You were good at Black American. You were already good there. We respected you as a Black American. So they're doing it so that they're actually trying to merge Black American and foundational Black American so they can take on the accoutrements of all of Black achievements, all the Black icons, all the struggles. They want it to be synonymous. So when we attack an FBA, they can call it a hate crime or they can call it a hate speech and have the white man on our ass and put us in jail. That's why. So we got to be very careful. We got to make a clear distinction between the two, and we got to share love and show empathy for the Black Americans that find themselves calling themselves foundational Black American, and we got to be careful because again, we got to show some empathy. Like, okay, we get it. We get you want to jump on this bandwagon, but this is X, Y, and Z. And I feel like that's the way I've been doing it. Because I can see what they're trying to do. But it's just like we're just trying to inform them, give them two sides of the coin. You got to understand that it's not just a one way. Oh, they're a big happy family that they love all of that this is the new identity you want to step into and this is who you are. No, because like even they don't like FBA. Even them are going to other terms like salon. And then you have ADOS too, right? So they're like, nah, we're not rocking with FBA as an identity.
FBA is on a moat by themselves. I feel bad for them, but you know what? I'm not gonna lie. I am guilty of roughing them up, especially because like I've seen them say a lot of horrible stuff about Caribbean people. But I'm gonna start to give them just a little bit more grace, just a little bit, and see what happens from there. But excuse me. I've been called like some crazy names, and I'm like, what the fuck? First of all, I'm from a country that the U.S. colonized. What are you telling me? Like, what? Like, you can't tell me anything. Y'all country been doing this for a long ass time. But I'm gonna try to start giving them just a tad bit more grace and see what will happen. 'Cause I've been
Wait,
whooping
who are
their
you
ass
talking about? Let's see, who are you talking about? The FBAs or Black American?
Yeah,
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, yeah, sister. Yeah, I mean, anyone that comes after you, though, you treat them with the same kind of energy. But yeah, like if you're just meeting an FBA, I would say, like, make sure it's not a Black American that just jumped on the boat. Like that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Right. I agree.
But yeah, you protect yourself in all costs. At all costs.
Because I mean,
Yeah, I
I
have
did.
noticed like the.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay, I was just going to say that I have noticed a little bit of the pretendianism kind of creep up in like certain videos I've seen Caribbean creators have made, and can't remember. I think it was Jamaica specifically, and I have seen it in Haiti too. I have seen them have a couple of lives where you have the Haitians or the Jamaicans say, "Oh, I'm Arawak, I'm not African," or "I'm Taino," or And it seems like there has been a cross-pollination between the Britannians and the U.S. and some of the creators in Jamaica and Haiti. And I was like, that's interesting.
Yeah, I think all of them, whether they're from the mainland or not, I feel like if you're trying to discredit or disown your African ancestry, like you should go seek help. Just yeah.
Yeah. It's a crazy thing.
Okay, I do want to play something for you guys. So this is oh, okay. And before I play this, this is Tariq Nasheed's latest speech. Okay, he did a showing in I forgot what state it was, but all his FBA fans came to rally behind him. Like he was like, it looked like he was running for governor or running for president. They kind of had it set up like that. But before I play that, I do want to say the only reason you see these FBAs, since they already signed up for being African, so they can't take that back, right? So a lot of them are trying to delineate so they can say we're far removed from Africans for 400 years or whatever years they want to put. This is why we are delineating from you guys, but they but again, it just kind of works against them. So what they try to do is they say they're native to America. Now, there are aspects where they are, they're here now, right? And they've been so far removed that they can't remember where they came from. There is some legitimate thing about that. There's also, but that's not to say that you got to cut them all out, right? But there's also them when they came here. They talk about this unique lineage, right? And the things that they say is that they're an amalgamation of white Americans,
Please,
Native Americans, and lastly, the ones they punch down to is their African lineage, right? So the reason why they say that there is some truth, but it's not the full truth. Yes, the white man, as soon as you got on these shores, he started graping our brothers and sisters, right? Started creating a whole new race, biracial children and all this stuff, right? So it's so funny. They see themselves more closely related to their white counterparts than they do their African side, right?
Yep.
And for the same reason, we're now biracial people, half black, half white, are now just black. This is the conversations I was having before the FBAs and I was having the biracial conversations about how this identity crisis between black and white, and they treat me like this on this side, and I don't know how to feel about that side, and this whole for the most part, I was just attacking like white biracial tears. That's the name of this account, by the way. And it's the understanding that they used their tears to weaponize them against anybody, at the time, but mostly about black. When they go to their black side of the family, how they look at them and they go, "You guys judge me. You guys don't like that I'm half white." And this whole victimization thing that happens. And I kind of like mirror this with the whole black FBAs and Africans, right? It's kind of similar to me because it's part of them, but I feel like they're on two sides of the family, but I forget why I brought that up. I bring that up. Oh, because I was saying, so the part of this unique lineage is for them to anchor onto other people. So it's the white and it's the Native American experience, right? Or the indigenous experience. So they have to try to make a claim for that. So that's why they gravitate to the American Indian aspect, because they want to claim rulership here. So and forget about Africa. But again, FBAs contradict themselves when they do that, because if you're claiming American Indian, you can't get those reparations that you keep delineating for, right?
Right.
If FBAs claim that they want all this money because of what happened to their ancestors, those were Africans. Those people are more closely related to Africa than they are related to here in America. They're more those ancestors. Yeah.
I keep asking them,
I was just saying,
y'all are talking
go
about.
ahead. Exactly. And if that trauma, if that happened to our ancestors, that means those ancestors that trauma happened to are more
are more closely in time related to the actual African than they were to the domesticated African that got here and throughout the 500 years. So again, miss me with that shit. Here, I do want to play this for you guys real quick. Tariq Nasheed. And listen to him about what he wants out of reparations. Tariq Nasheed. Speech. I think it was speech, yeah. And listen how he chants to his followers. What? Okay, here he is.
Well, all white people didn't even own. Another rebuttal they say. Well, all white people didn't even own slaves during slavery. So how are white people responsible? We didn't all own slaves. But it was a slave economy. But everybody benefited from the slave economy. So if you were a white person in the 1800s working for the train station.
Hold on. I gotta find one without that music in the background because I trying to make it seem all motivational speaker.
What I want to talk about today.
Hold on.
There's this whole thing.
Hold on. Let me find a better one. Oh my God! Please, is there another one? Okay, here it is.
We want tangibles as foundational Black Americans. And we're not going to let them redefine what reparations mean, right? Is reparations student loan debt? Is reparations HBCU funding? Is reparations minority business loans? Is reparations catfish nuggets? What's reparations? Money! What's reparations? What's reparations? Give yourselves a round of applause. Now, family, when we talk about reparations, we get the same 7 rebuttals from the dominant society, and we need to know how to address their rebuttals when we talk about what we need to get as far as reparations. The first thing that they say is, well, wouldn't reparations be divisive? Wouldn't that make people in the dominant society not like you? Are you here to be liked by the dominant society? Tina Turner told us, what's love got to do with it? We're trying to get our money. We're already divided, but they control our resources. So we want them to divide our money and give it back to us because we're owed a debt as foundational Black Americans. The second thing that they try to tell us is, well, other people suffered. It just wasn't Black people. Irish people were enslaved. Italian people were lynched. Native Americans were mistreated, and they're not complaining, so why are you Blacks complaining? But the thing is, these people are not complaining because they were compensated. The Irish, who were indentured servants, they got something called freedom dues after their contract ran out. They got money, land, and weapons. They were compensated. Then they were brought into white society to join all the benefits and reap all the gains of being white. When the Italians were lynched down in New Orleans, there was a situation where there was a mass lynching of Italians. Their families were compensated, and the country of Italy was compensated, and the Italians were allowed into white society to reap the benefits. The Native Americans, we know the red ones, they were compensated. They broke off all types of money, and many of them enslaved us as well, so they need to be cutting a check too. The third rebuttal that they have for us is, well, if you want to get reparations, FBAs, why don't you go to the Africans who sold you? Have y'all heard that one? Well, I say to that, number one, the African who sold us, well, he got a one-off. Number two, those countries don't exist no more. Those countries over there were colonized and they were absorbed into the white European power structure. So all of their resources were drained. So they need to get the resources from the white power structure in Europe that dominated them, while we're getting money from the white power structure that dominated us, the United States government. Another
You can still see the echoes of his Pan-Africanism from earlier years in that, to be fair.
Did he say the same thing twice? I had to leave for a little bit. Did this?
No, he said the same different things. He didn't repeat himself. No.
Okay. This is long. I didn't know how long this one was.
I just want to point out something. He actually acknowledges that the Africans couldn't really do anything about the situation, which is really surprising from him.
Wait, say that again, Faye. Say that again, Faye. Sorry.
He did. He said, well, he was one of the people saying, well, why don't you take those African countries to court or to task? And he said, well, they were being colonized by European powers as well. So, they themselves need their own resources back. So that's quite Pan-Africanism, to be fair. I didn't think he was going to say that.
Right. I didn't catch that. Sorry, I wasn't here. I gotta listen to it again because I heard it it wasn't this long. But yeah, I also heard he wanted a check from everybody, not just YT people. But again, if you're going to be included in that, then everybody deserves a check, right? So again, I don't know what he's trying to say. Again, pay attention to what he's talking about. He wants just cash. He wants that money. He wants that bag. He's not talking about land. He's not talking about land. The most important. Yeah, he's not talking about land.
One of the issues I have with the money is because money, they can print that because it's depreciating. Assets is what you really want. Like you say, land, hell, stocks in Apple or something like that. Something that's going to make some money. Giving me some money that's going to push up inflation and take away my purchasing power. They can keep that. Give me the assets.
Yeah, facts, man. That's facts. Fucking as soon as they hand out all that money, inflation's definitely gonna happen. The money's not gonna be worth shit. It's not backed by shit, right? So what are you really? Where are you leading? You're leading your people into a burning building, like MLK says, or is it MLK? I think it's MLK, or Malcolm X. Yeah. What's so obviously he's bought for it. Like he's really sold out because we've heard him before. I think Galaxy said this or Faye said this about him talking about how YT people have been trying to give him a bag for him to come on and talk shit to African people and Caribbeans. And he said he didn't take it. But look, he's already doing it. He already took the bag.
He's doing it for free. If
or even worse, he's doing it for free. So, and he's getting a lot of clout for it, from all the ops. Again, this is not your leader, right? But he is your owner. He is the brand ambassador of the term FBA. I'll have to remind you guys over and over and over again. If you want to sell FBA hats and shirts, he can come and slap a lawsuit on you, and it's a wrap. If you don't represent FBA the way he expects you to represent FBA, he can take that right from under you. So how is that a lineage you wanna back? And moreover, he's already turned his back on so many FBA people that aren't rocking with him, that chose the whole battle between ADOS and him. That's how it came up. I had another brother come up here and tell us the exact story. But this is all like feuds, like little battles that he's had within the Pan-African communities, and he's a grifter. Like he goes to each kind of thing, and until something hits, and FBA hit, he thinks he hit the jackpot with that identity. But like we said before, guys, we got to be very careful. Go read the website. Oh, that's what I wanted to talk about. His website. So his website, it legally crafts it really perfect, where he's talking about how, FBA is not an organization. It's not a group. It's not X, Y, and Z. It's just a lineage. So, but right below that, he says, but if you talk about FBA people or their lineage, you could be held accountable for hate speech, for civil rights violations. That's why I was trying to say that he's trying to group this up with what the ethnicity Black American is, because that's a true ethnicity, just like African American is a true ethnicity. FBA is not. You just added foundational to it, an ethnicity, and now you expect it to be legally recognized as if it was Black Americans. No, you can't do that. And then so he has the language in there to say, But if you talk bad about FBA or you mischaracterize, I can sue you for defamation. I can come after you. So he's already set precedents about what he can do to you, to all of us, because we're all talking shit. Like right now, he could be like, oh, well, Vibes is, he hates Black Americans and he talks down to FBAs. And I'm going to take him to court, because he's been defaming my brand. So that's the type of language that you find in there. So when you go look about the lineages, he brings up, he has obviously the African one, but now he finally included, because this wasn't up there before, he included Aboriginal American. So you take your wild guess what that means, So he understands that this whole American Indian thing is going to really work in his favor, because now he can lay claim to every identity, essentially, right? And so, and he loves this new wave of American Indians that are talking down on African people, they're like, well, we're FBAs too, we hate Africans, we're against immigration, we don't want this to happen either. So they're linking up with FBAs, and they're calling themselves Black Americans too. And but they might not say they're FBAs, but they got the same talking points. They got the same grievances as FBAs. That's how you can tell, guys. So be very wary of that. I know I've been rambling. Do you guys want to say anything before I play the rest of the clip?
Yeah, I was just going to say the whole thing with foundational. I don't like that one issue I have with him is that he refuses to take responsibility for being the quote-unquote leader. Because he says that a lineage doesn't have a leader. But in effect, he is a leader, because you have people on TikTok, on lives, and in comment sections that spew, such, hateful, xenophobic rhetoric, and you're not taking responsibility for it. So that's one big problem. Another big problem is the whole foundational aspect, because it's like foundational. Sometimes it feels like the foundational is like you're attaching yourself to the U.S. empire, and you're kind of taking responsibility for the things that they have done. And I feel like that's a weird predicament to put a group of people in.
No, 100% right, Gather. That's what I did want to say. I said, look, the guy in the comments says, a lineage can't have a leader. That makes no sense. That's the same rhetoric that Tariq Nasheed is telling y'all. So y'all can embrace foundational Black American as an identity. Again, you can't brand an ethnicity. So for him adding foundational to Black American, which Black American was already an ethnicity, you didn't have to add foundational to it. I know it sounds nice. I know it sounds it sounds like grassroots almost, I mean, think about it. Foundation, think about the foundation of a house. It's like it's the blocks that keep the fucking house from falling. But at this point, the house is already burning. And at this point, who owns the house? Fuck the foundation. We can build for white America all we want, but do we own what we build? We don't. So I know he's packaging this nice for you guys to take this in, and you have no problem calling yourself a foundational Black American. But again, Tariq might not be your leader, but he is your owner, and he branded you FBA. All right. So I'll end on that. I'm going to play the rest of this. Faye, did you want to say something, or are you just listening, sister? I don't want to not let you talk.
No. Oh, hi. Yeah, I was just going to say something really quickly. It's really clever how he's kind of played both sides of the fence, because on one hand, he defines FBA as like a lineage, but he also positions it as a movement, like through the merch and the branding and the selling. So it seems like either way, if he ever gets put in court because of something his followers did, he can kind of weasel out of it. It's clever. Very clever. He has good lawyers.
He's a true tether. Yeah, that's what Gather and Faith. That's exactly what's happening. He is positioning himself where he can be the face of that movement or that domestic terrorist organization. He can be the face of it, but but take no accountability because he knows what he's doing. He's letting off his little foot soldiers that come out here to spit his rhetoric. And it's like he had given them all a memo every time he goes on live on TikTok. He is showing and displaying this coonery, this tap dancing that he does. And he opened up a stand-up comedy show. That's what he is. He's a joke, And
Yeah,
so
he's you know what? It pained me because he's actually quite funny. Like some of his jokes do make me laugh like really hard. It sucks that he's a horrible person because he's hilarious. Like, what did he say the other day? A goosey babble? I was on the floor. I couldn't. He's so horrible as a person, but he's so funny. And also,
he's charismatic. Yeah,
he's very. He has similarities to the other guy in this picture right now. I'll tell you that much for sure. He's very charismatic, but he knows, and that's why he's got two sides of the term, like both the lineage and the movement as a political movement. Because even his followers, they can't agree on in the term. I've been on lines where I've asked them, so like, is it a movement? Is it just identity? He's like, oh no, FBA is a lineage. The delineation is the movement. But other people tell me it's both. Some people say it's neither. So this is very intentional. He causes like confusion. He's very sneaky. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How are you delineating from your lineage? Your African lineage.
I don't know how he does it. He you know what? He is so lucky he found people that don't really think too hard about this stuff and just fall for the bait. He's so lucky.
That's such a great point, Faye. That's his audience. That's his target audience. The people that say, I don't care what happens, or I don't care. The I don't care thing always is a trigger for me because it's like, what do you care about then? You only care about spitting this rhetoric. So again, I only bring up that he's funny. I mean, he's doing a stand-up comedy. He has a place for that. So I don't know if he's there doing it. He opened up that little Black History Museum as well, and he's just doing all these things, right? But what was I going to say?
He's going to the bank with this is what I'm going to say. He's going to the bank. He must be making so much money.
Oh yeah, right now he's ranked the man.
Stupid money.
For sure. But I was going to say, yeah, he's funny, but he's only funny because we hear him we hear him talk to ignorant people too on our side, right?
Yeah.
There are some African immigrants that come on there spitting their shit, talking their shit, and they're not always representing all of us the right way either, right? And when Tariq Nasheed puts them in their place, I chuckle too a little, But I mean, we have to think about it. Besides the jokes, besides the roasting, what this is really gonna do. Besides putting money in his pocket. How this actually has negative effects that both Africans face and African immigrants and Black Americans. This is going to have a backlash, So that's the reality of it. Here, let me play the rest of this.
Well, all white people didn't even own slaves during slavery. So how are white people responsible? We didn't all own slaves. But it was a slave economy where everybody benefited from the slave economy. So if you were a white person in the 1800s working for the train station economy was built on the resources that were taken back and forth from the south to the north. So you owe. If you worked for an insurance company in the 1800s, yeah, you didn't own a slave, but you were insuring slaves and you were making money off slavery. If you were a white person in the 1800s working for a bank or a factory, you were getting all the raw materials and refining it in those northern factories, benefiting from slavery. So the whole economy was based on the labor of our foundational Black American ancestors. The next rebuttal is, well, my family came over after the Civil War. So I wasn't even here during slavery. So how do I owe? When your family was over there in the slums of Europe, they heard about a country that was built up off the wealth from the free labor of our ancestors. And they knew that wealth was mass distributed from our hands into white society and locked in racially. And they sat over there in Europe and said, sign me up. I want to go over there and be a part of that. So since you want to be a part of it, you're part of the debt and you owe too. The sixth one they say is, well, there's already been reparations paid to Black people. Welfare and affirmative action. Number one, welfare was created for white women in the 1930s. Number two, most welfare recipients in America are white people in middle America. The welfare capital is Owsley County, Kentucky, where 99% of the people are white and on welfare. That's the welfare capital. And as far as affirmative action, we know that affirmative action benefits white women more than anybody. So is affirmative action reparations? Exactly. And the last thing they say, family, they say, well, listen, why should I, as a good white person, be on the hook for something that I didn't do? Why should my tax dollars pay for something that I didn't do? I didn't own a slave. Did any of you remove red Native Americans from their land? Your tax dollars go to pay for them now. Did any of you put people in concentration camps in Germany? Your tax dollars go to pay off some of the victims of the Holocaust. Did any of you put Japanese Americans in internment camps in World War II? But your tax dollars go to pay the Japanese families. Did anybody here fly a plane in the World Trade Center? You know some of your tax dollars go to those victims too. Did you create a war in Afghanistan? Billions of your tax dollars go to the Afghanistanian people. Did you cause a war in the Ukraine? Billions of your tax dollars go to the Ukrainian citizens. So since we're giving all of our tax dollars to these people who are not even citizens for the most part, we're going to make sure the real compensation and the real check is going to be cut for the people who deserved it, who built this country from the ground up, who cultivated the culture in this country. Foundation of Black Americans, ladies and gentlemen. Say reparations! FBA! Give yourselves a round of applause.
He really is like the preacher at a church choir or something like that. I'm not gonna lie. He kind of motivated me to motivate.
Hey, I gotta
I'm a bit
give it to
moved.
Tariq
Yeah.
Nasheed, man. Tariq Nasheed is a puppeteer, and all these people that's doing exactly what he wants them to do, they're attached. They're the puppets attached to his strings. Because if you pay attention, he makes a lot of logical facts, but then he still also reverts to ways to try to make it like a FBA thing. Like this man is sick, and he has these people under like. See, when I see and hear stuff like this, I see the spiritual warfare and everything. These people don't even understand that, like, they're being used because they open themselves to be used as tools for their very own fucking destruction.
He is just, you know what, he knows what he's doing. Even I felt a bit moved by that because he takes real stuff and mixes it in with conjecture, fantasy, and he hypes it up so you believe all, because he's right. Like, they should get reparations, they should be funded for everything they contribute to that country, but there's just so much weird energy, like kind of rallying people up. I don't think they're going to do it. I don't think he's going to do it. I don't think he's going to be able to get these people what he's promising them. I really don't. I'm not even being negative here. I think he's got a... How can he, the person in power currently in America, thinks that every single person, even those who are unaliving in their trailers, eating ants and powdered potato for dinner, I don't know, he thinks they should pull themselves up by the bootstraps and just go to work. It's not working for anybody, this current government. But Nasheed thinks that this guy's going to get him reparations. It's not going to happen. It's not.
I don't think so either. It's like these people, they don't really understand the nature and structure of the West and America. They don't know about terms like social Darwinism or neoliberalism, where they believe that, you know, basically people are the survivor of the fittest. If you're poor, then you deserve to be poor, and if you're rich, you deserve to be rich. That these are the ways. This is part of the worldview of these people, and that they see us as basically servants, and that they're not going to just hand you over power, you know, in a form of reparations. They're never going to empower you, and that we were never meant to get this far in the first place.
No. And they want to take back all of those achievements. They want to wind it back to the beginning when you were Their property. They're not happy that you've made it this far and you've accomplished civil rights and you're a hardworking demographic. They don't want that. They don't want you to be successful or great in your lives. So I don't know. It's sad because I want them to have power, but they're not going to have it this way. What's going to happen? What have they actually done so far? I think in like California, they got an FBA like on the census somewhere. I think that was what they claimed. But I don't know. That step is actually
That's not an
meaningful
FBA.
towards reparations. I don't know.
That's not an FBA. What they do is they go find successful people in the black community and they give them the FBA title and then they tether on to them. But they're lying. That man never once in his life identified as an FBA. Never.
I feel like they're doing the opposite of what the Black Panthers did, because the Black Panthers, that's, what came of the Rainbow Coalition, because they, joined hands or joined forces with other marginalized groups around the world, and that what made them dangerous. This idea of, like separating yourself and thinking you're going to, get some sort of power. The power system is not scared of that, because they know you won't have any reinforcements.
I mean,
Yeah, facts.
hearing that though, I will say it's a good thing because I was looking at New Orleans the other day and they put they put ice dolls on the stands to like ward off ice and put certain jujus and on them and stuff, and it was really funny and it's heartwarming to see. I like seeing people coming together. That needs to happen more, but these FBAs don't see that, unfortunately.
I think that like what they've been conditioned to, they've been conditioned for so many centuries that now they act just like their masters. That's just what they want to do what the masters do. They want to say what the masters say, act how the masters act, and even if it means for them that they have to detest their own black people to be like the master and to fit in with the master, that's what they're going to do. And look at homeboy DB Brown rule in the comments. He is the epitome of what I just said. The epitome, literally. That looks really good.
Oh, I'm jealous, host.
Now here goes the next idiot. Look, how do you call ICE on people that have U.S. citizenship? That goes to show you that these people dropped out in the 4th grade. Please go back to school. Y'all are too remedial. It's embarrassing. U.S. citizens cannot be deported. It doesn't matter if they were born here. Once they got that citizenship, they will never be deported unless they committed some sort of heinous crimes. You people are idiotic and it's embarrassing.
And they'll never come into the voice whatever section. They won't because they're scared. They're enjoying the text. He can call ICE, but he needs to know that the women who do work in New Orleans are putting things on ICE right now. Juju, hexes, you need to be careful. Getting your boys, they're gonna be goats tomorrow morning.
Exactly. And I love that for ICE. We need to start putting jujus on all the officials in this country if they don't do something for our people. Period. But
they're gonna turn into hamsters, goats.
That will never happen because you got black Americans trying to team up with their white masters to juju us. Little do they know we're closest to our ancestors than they are, so our power of juju is way fucking stronger than theirs.
They don't get it. The other day, sometimes I lurk on that side of TikTok, the Mino African side, and I see them saying that hoodoo has nothing to do with Africa. Huh?
Hoodoo came from Africa. It's a spin-off of African spirituality. These people, know what?
Yeah, you know what their juju is? Their juju is calling ICE. You see, L stands for loser, guy. Okay.
Another thing and this is something I told the FBA the other day. You know what's on these platforms and they insult us and they assault us and they have profiles with their pictures on it. Are you not afraid of juju, bro? Are you dumb? Are you okay? Take your picture down before you get on here trying to bully people.
Yeah, it is crazy to hear them say Nino African, but they looking like a whole Nigerian in the face.
There's this FBA guy that comes around the live sometimes. see something, and this man just looks like a whole Uncle Tunde. Like, I don't know why he wants to distance himself so bad from Africa. And TK, we've got to know TK, she did like an edit of his photo to put like a kitenge, like a kente on him, and like a little cap as well. And he fit right in, fresh out of Nigeria.
I'm so glad you did that.
Oh yeah, I saw that. It showed up on my FYP, and I laughed. They were indistinguishable. Like they just looked like they fit right in.
Just right in. So when I hear things like, "Oh, we look nothing like you guys," it's like what? And think about features, right? On this very live, on Vibes Live on his other account, there was this FBI guy talking like nonsense to me, FBA, and he was like, "We don't have peppercorn hair." What? Huh? What's peppercorn hair? See how lost and anti-black these people are. They're talking bad about their own hair textures that they have in their peoples. And he's saying we don't have peppercorn hair. We have good features. We're not like you Africans. Huh?
Okay, so let me tell you, right? So I came to America when I was 16, and the first time I heard Beady Beads, I heard it from an American calling another American with 4C hair that shit. So they just lie about
Whoa.
everything. You know what's the biggest thing with me and them with their lying? I don't think, okay, they like to get online and say, oh, Africa is dusty, Africa is poor, but none of us can travel to Africa, right? But we live in their country. So when they come online and say, oh, we're rich and we live good and stuff, do y'all forget I'm your next door neighbor and I know you're fucking lying, you dummy? Stop.
Lost completely, just lost. They don't understand. They really don't. And you know what? And even when you say, look, you're saying you have nothing to do with Africa, you're not even the so-called American Indians are like, oh, when we're not even African. And then I show them pictures of like people like Doechii and Brandy, who are gorgeous black women that obviously have obvious African features. They don't want to know, or they accuse them of being secret tethers. What the hell is this?
You know what they like to do? They like to flee from them DNA tests.
That's hilarious.
They're bootlickers, all right? Straight up bootlickers, man. They're the new slave catching dogs, not gonna lie.
And they don't even like BLK people. So I don't know why they simp for them so hard. They don't. Half of them are open Yahtzees.
Listen, they get in Bendy's live all the time, and they say, the white man stabbed the hell behind us. They fuck with us. See, they making laws to help us now. And I'm like, what? What laws? Do we live in the same country? Because I live in southern Georgia. Like, what? These people are crazy.
I'm gonna go eat these
my thing
enchiladas.
is,
Hold
I
on,
think
Bold. Hold on, Bold.
Listen,
Hold on, brother. I'm sorry to cut you off. Faye's got to introduce you first before you say something, and then I'll be right back. Okay, Faye? I'm gonna go eat these
Enjoy
enchiladas.
your dinner.
Thank you.
So, the Bold Lion, introduce yourself. Where are you from? What's your ethnic group? What do you have to say about the picture?
Yeah, well, I'm 47, Memphis, Tennessee. I'm second generation Nigerian.
Oh.
And the whole FBA thing just kind of confuses me because, you know, if you look at you can Google this, 13% of the population is BLK people, but out of that 13%, 20% has lineage outside of America, whether you're from the Caribbean or African or wherever. You see what I mean? So walking the streets, walking around, you can't tell who's FBA or who is from the Caribbean. I didn't know Nicki Minaj was Caribbean. You see what I'm saying? I didn't know Biggie Small has Caribbean ties. It's like we're all in one. So so my children, are they gonna get some money? I know I'm not going to get some money. That's cool. But are my kids going to get some money? Where do they tie in? Are they FBAs? Since they're half and half? What about mixed
Let me
people?
answer your first
It's just
question.
ridiculous. Huh?
There's no money to get because these people don't know how to organize properly to get their reparations. So if there were money to get, maybe then you could petition and try. But as far as I know right now, the money that these people think they're getting, it's not coming because they are not organizing the right way and initiating the right processes to make reparations happen. They think that what's gonna get them reparations is coming on here and antagonizing us every day. When they should be sitting down, gathering up and creating paperwork and getting organized.
I just don't. It just befuddles me. I just don't understand it. It's like trying to separate, hot water from cold water. You can't tell I'm Nigerian. You can't tell my kids are half Nigerian. You can't tell Biggie Smalls it was of Jamaican descent. You can't tell Busta Rhymes was Jamaican descent. It's like we're all in this. You know, I understand. The lineage and all of that, but then the separation thing, like, what is that even going to accomplish? What is that? I don't get it. So okay, now you're foundational Black American. What is that? What is that? What are your privileges with that? How does that set you apart? I mean, I just don't get it. I just don't understand it.
They think they're getting reparations, and honestly, I don't think they will, which is sad because they deserve it. But under this current government, no, there's no way. There's absolutely no way. And I can make a whole list of unknown tethers right now. For example, like Aaliyah, rest in peace. Her dad's Jamaican. He has Jamaican ancestry. There are so many, and then like obviously Busta Rhymes,
right,
Nicki, all these different people. Rihanna, like Rihanna, but people like there's a whole list.
Barack
even
Obama.
Yeah,
Barack Obama.
You know who really shook me? Trina, the rapper. She's actually Dominican and Bahamian. She's not FBA. She's a Caribbean girl.
It's crazy. You cannot tell. It's like trying to separate hot water from cold water. You cannot tell who has lineage outside of the United States. It's just ridiculous to me. This whole movement just makes no sense to me. It makes no sense.
It's just screaming. And the thing is, there are even more Caribbean women, like Foxy Brown, for example. Like Caribbean girls run New York hip hop. How are you gonna take them out of that? How?
What about Cardi B?
Yeah.
You see what I mean? If you start delineating, you're delineating half of the culture.
They like to say that Cardi B is white. I'm trying to figure out how, because that girl grandfather is black as I am.
Exactly. Then you're gonna have to get rid of Kamala Harris. Get rid of Kamala Harris. Get rid of Barack Obama. Come on, we've contributed too.
And Kamala Harris,
it's not a vacuum.
Kamala Harris is a real tether because she never started claiming black until she wanted the black vote.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, she said she was Indian American before.
Exactly.
So that's like the one tether agreement I can agree with.
And
so she's the real tether here.
And you have to acknowledge something as well. Even like the true lineage people like Michael B. Jordan, Tupac Shakur, they acknowledge Africa. They love Africa. They know who they are.
Exactly.
They respect Africa.
Yeah.
Michael B. Jordan, he's literally an Ifa priest. He practices African spirituality. Yeah.
Babalawo, that's the Yoruba tribe thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
So I just don't get it. I just do not get it. It's just. I guess we're just gonna see what the end game is. Because my kids are half FBA. I guess you could say. I mean, are they gonna be entitled to this money? Not that I want it or anything, but like, how do you start splitting these hairs? Because we're all mixed in together culturally. We add into the culture, to the numbers. If it wasn't for us, for black immigration, it'd be like 9%, 10% black people. So we help with the numbers too. So this whole thing of it's just radical. They just are hateful. They talk a lot of just negativity. It's just I just
And like I'm not too far from like the Gullah Geechee quarter, like Savannah, Charleston, and everything, and they don't realize that we've had people being moved back and forth, and then I can't remember which. I think it was the Civil War. We had Haitian soldiers come to Savannah,
See?
And then we have a whole monument built to them. And like my stepfather, I didn't understand it at first, but he has a French last name and everything. And I kind of wondered, I didn't really know as a child, but as I got older, I was like, oh, okay, it's a possibility he might have Haitian ancestry. You just never know. Going back and
Exactly.
forth, Jamaican. So it's just kind of ridiculous to kind of like parse out and separate everybody.
We just cannot. It's almost like
Hmm.
trying to separate black from white. I mean, there's a lot of white tea genetics in black Americans and vice versa. It's
Yeah.
you
Hmm.
just can't 100% split that. It just cannot happen. America is America. We have different communities. I get that, and we should all be trying to strive to get better, to do better. To uplift ourselves. The whole delineation thing is just, I'm just falling back to see what the end goal is. So
I
I don't know.
I thought that like they were trying to delineate so they could uprise against their oppressors. I didn't know they were trying to delineate to tether with their oppressors. I don't know. Something is wrong. Like I
It's
don't
got to be
know.
a CIA, a CIA thing or something.
Right, cause
Yeah.
Something's crazy about it.
Well,
Yeah.
Nasheed did
As
say the
a
other day that he's being offered money to talk about immigrants. So yeah, we know what's going on there.
Yeah.
That's
I was just going to say, as an African American myself, I just don't see this whole FBA delineation thing ever working out. Like, I don't have,
I don't think so either.
it's not, it's not. It's going to fizzle out at some point because what's happening is that I feel like there's a growing, like, silent majority of us that's just sick and tired of the rhetoric, and at some
Yep.
point, it's going to boil
People are.
over, and then people going to really speak out against it and push them
Yep.
down and get them out the
They
way.
better hope it don't land them in jail, cause America like to put cult people in jail now. So they better
Yeah.
mind they don't get identified as a cult and they all get rounded up. Cause America been building a whole bunch of new prisons too, especially around here in Georgia.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently,
Do
someone told
not
me
mess
that Trump
around.
wants to build prisons in Nigeria as well. So worldwide,
Really?
worldwide.
See, and that goes to show you, like, delineating is a bad idea because there's a bigger plot against black people, and these idiots can't see it. These people are going and building, what do you say, prisons everywhere that there's black people. Why are you building new prisons in black areas only? Like, and what do we need
Hmm.
prisons for? Like, if you take care of the community how you're supposed to, then the crime will go down. What's the need for prisons? It's because they intentionally plan to have black people under duress. So when we act up, they have spaces to lock us up, and these idiots can't see it for what it is.
Yeah.
unfortunately. That's crazy. That's
Because it's like
crazy.
those of us with sense, it's like we can see what's happening, and then it's like the rest of them, they just speak like blind parrots, and it's like you just got to ignore them while also paying attention to what's really going on out here.
Fact. It's like we have to watch our surroundings with our back against a wall, thanks to our own black people in this country now. Like, because we had to watch our oppressors, but now we gotta watch our own people too, and that's sad.
That's sad. That's sad.
Yeah.
That's
I heard
sad.
this saying, I don't know if it was Harriet Tubman or some other figure, but somebody said, it was said that in order to help black people, I had to use one hand to hold one set of them back while using the other hand to help another, to help the other group. And
Yeah,
that's what
That's
it kind of
true.
feels like.
Yep.
it does. Yeah.
And I wanted to say something
Oh,
as well
well,
quickly.
hey, you guys, I
Oh,
bid
go
you
on.
guys a good day, and I got to roll. But good talking to you guys, though.
Thank you for coming up.
Okay, sure thing. Bye.
Bye. So then I was going to say something about just on that note about unfortunately being let down by our own people. I was actually going to do a live where the prompt is going to be sorry, about how FBAs don't notice that a lot of the time, not all the time obviously, but the biggest threat to ADOS people are other ADOS people, especially politically, because they're talking about these tedders that are against reparations and that. And obviously that's not a good thing, but they won't talk about the black conservatives, the ADOS people who say reparations is a dumb idea for us. We should just get on with it and